Namaskar and welcome to NFL Masala. I'm your co-host Anant.
And I am your other co-host, Rakshak, and also an alumni of the greatest school in the world, Texas Tech University.
Ah,
Welcome to NFL. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 22 of NFL Masala, where we talk about all the latest happenings in the NFL with a little bit of spice, but disclaimer, it is going to be a shitload of spice. Do you
oh
know
yeah.
why, Anand? Why are we
Well,
doing?
it is Masala Bowl of the year right now because the Packers are facing the Eagles this week, week 10. Oh my
Who
God,
cares about the
it's
freaking
week
Super Bowl?
10.
It is week 10, and guess what? Who cares about the freaking Super Bowl? That's not what matters the most. We're giving
Exactly.
the people what they want. It is the NFL Masala Bowl between arguably the two best teams in the NFC, which I think is also going to be an obvious beat the dome moment. It is going to be a preview of a playoff matchup.
Oh yeah, 100%. Whether it's wild card or divisional round, I'm sure we're going to see each other again. That's going to be a very spicy game, that's for sure.
Oh,
Rematch
hell
of
yeah.
last year. Well, today, in order of Masala Bowl, we have a guest with us, one of my good friends from Seattle now, Landry, Packers fan from Wisconsin. Say what's up, introduce yourself.
Yep. Just like you said, Landry, Ohio, Packers fan from Wisconsin. I've been a fan ever since I could remember. Right, back all the way when Brett Favre was still playing with the Packers in the early 2000s. So I've been blessed to never have a bad quarterback, which I think we're probably the only franchise that can say. Oh well, I'm the only generation of fan in the NFL right now that couldn't say that, which is like truly a privilege. But I'm very excited to be here. I play tons of fantasy football, dynasty football. I bet on it. I care about the league. I'm pretty locked into it. So I'm ready to kind of get started.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Thank you for coming on to the show. Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, what do we got?
So, we are going to start with some dhamakedar news. And boy, this week has been ridiculously spicy because we've had the NFL trade deadline. We've had some massive pieces of news that have just gone under the radar as well.
Mm-hmm. And
But
apparently I think there was a
yeah.
game that happened on Thursday. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
There was
yeah.
a game.
It's your
Yeah, bad.
typical TNF game.
As
I mean,
you know what? Free Kirk Herbstreit, free Al Michaels. They do not deserve this level of torture.
exactly. You know what? It should be on Friday so people can get drunk on Friday night and then have a nice little party celebration hangover for Saturday. That is what Thursday night needs to be.
Yeah.
You know, it should be on Friday. But anyways, let's get started with some Damakidar news. This is just in recent. Today, actually, just an hour ago, Donald Trump wants the new Commanders DC Stadium to be named after him.
Mm.
I mean,
That's new news.
yeah, it's apparently a $3.7 billion stadium. And there were some back channel communications with a member of the Commanders ownership group that expressed that the Dome Stadium now should have Trump's name. It used to be called the RFK Stadium.
It still keep it as RFK because like the reason why I'm gonna say this is because back in the day it was RFK. I'd rather keep it as that. That is all I will say. That is all I will say.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And apparently during this game against the Lions on Sunday, Trump will be in attendance as Josh Harris's guest and is expected to participate in the halftime activities honoring the military.
Interesting.
Boy.
Moving along.
Yeah. Let's not turn this into a political tirade.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
yes, I just wanted to make that known to all of our listeners.
Yes. So speaking of personal news, this one hits really home for both of us because we live near the Frisco, Texas area. So to say this, Thursday, we received terrible news from Frisco, Texas. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Neyland died at the age of 24 from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to law authorities. Team put out a statement on Thursday, did not mention cause of death, but it's very sad. And apparently, according to Frisco Police Department, responded to assist Texas Department of Public Safety to locate a vehicle that evaded troopers during a pursuit. And
Yeah.
I don't want to and I don't want to talk about the full details, but he I think it was almost like it's very sad to know that it was that like what he had went through. He started off as a Western Michigan defensive end, trying to make it into the roster, and I think he was a second round pick in 2024. And on Monday, he scored the first touchdown on a block punt against the Cardinals. Missed the 2 games with injury, with 15 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 TFLs, 6 quarterback hurries. He was an excellent player, and I think this was a lot with I mean, I know there's been like things with like mental health, and Micah Parsons, he did talk about it, saying that he was a guy who loved this anime, loved this video games, like anybody else. To me, he always showed me nothing but respect from the moment he came into the locker room, respect as a player. I just hope he finds his peace and his family peace in the situation. And it's like, and I want to say this as a disclaimer. Just like athletes, we human beings, we all go through our series of ups and downs, and you're not alone. And there are a lot of resources, and I don't remember the I do not remember the hotline, but I remember if you're feeling down and you need help, call 988. And for suicide and crisis lifelines, you are loved. You is always there. And for me, mental health has always been a big important part. And I'm gonna say this up front as a first. My name is Raksha Kayangar. I have attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and I'm in counseling. I've been in counseling for a while. Been through a lot of ups and downs, but thankfully, I've relied on a lot of people, friends, family, and my brothers here alike. And you guys, and for anyone that's listening, you're not alone. There's people that will look out for you.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I want to end it with that.
And we'll take a moment of silence just in honor of him. Alrighty. All right, let's move on to some more football news, shall we?
Yeah.
Last week, we've had a massive, massive trade deadline that was not shaping up to be a massive trade deadline. There were like 1 or 2 moves that were just being made. The Cowboys had traded for Logan Wilson, linebacker from the Bengals, and there was like 1 or 2 moves that were just like flying under the radar. But then, all of a sudden, we have the Colts trading for Sauce Gardner, cornerback from the Jets, for 2 first-round picks, 1 this year, 1 next year, and Adonai Mitchell.
That is crazy, man.
Fully overpaid from the Colts perspective. Sauce is like one of the best corners in the league, but he's not worth. Especially, they're also taking on his contract too. He just signed a 4-year, I think like $150 million contract, and they're taking on the burden of this contract. They are giving up 2 first-round picks, and they're giving up their recent rookie wide receiver Adonai Mitchell, all to get a really good corner, but still just a piece of their defense.
And what's even more puzzling is that I think like the fact that Chris Ballard, the GM, would make a move and all that. I think the reason why for that long term, apparently it came from one of Colts joint owner Carly Ursay Gordon, daughter of one of the daughters of the late Jim Ursay. She said this, and I quote, "Do you want to band-aid it or fix it for the long term?"
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I kind of get the sense that I kind of get the idea of like wanting to rebuild that secondary after getting destroyed by after that brutal loss to who was it? Who did
The Steelers, maybe?
the Steelers and how their pass defense was like very suspect. I think they wanted to rebuild it on the long term, but to give up that much, that is questionable, but it's almost like throwing. But let's see.
Let's see. Langy, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, so two quick ones. One, like this is why, and I have this take when you have a Jamar Chase, when you have a Patrick Mahomes, when you have a Micah Parsons, there actually is not an overpay that exists because everything after that is going to look bad. Like right now, Mahomes is being paid on an annual basis. I think it's around $45 million. Obviously, he's going to re-up. Like it's going to happen. But the Chiefs did that early. The Bengals, they aren't very good at managing their team and roster construction. But the one thing they kind of slightly got right, is they did pay Jamar Chase. So now every wide receiver is going to look insane when you compare Jamar's salary to everyone else's because he's young, he was good immediately, and he stayed good. Same with Mahomes. And then Micah, that one, 2 firsts and our 29-year-old good D tackle. He was good.
Yes.
He was a good one. But he was going to ask for another contract. So he was going to walk, right? Because the Packers don't sign 30-year-old D tackles unless it's on a cheap vet deal. To the Cowboys for presumably the Packers' late firsts. And then they paid him. And when people saw the number, it's an extension. So it was like $148 million extension to his 2 years that he already had. So when you annualize it over 6, he still is the highest paid non-quarterback. But the cap is going to go up. And every D lineman after that is going to have to be close, or in some instances will be higher. I thought the Lions were going to pay Aiden more. They didn't. So shout out to the Lions, I guess, for like not paying more than the Micah price. So I say all to say Daniel Jones just got the biggest vote of confidence in the history of his career.
Yeah,
that's true.
The Packers are going. The Micah deal right now looks like not. We paid at price now, right? Like looking at all the other deals, we paid at price. And then honestly, I've never said this in my life. Shout out to the Jets. 4 firsts. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So now they have 2 first-round picks, right? 1 this year, 1 next year. They also have their first-round pick this year. And another trade that they did is now Quinnen Williams. So Cowboys are trading for Quinnen Williams. Oh, what a shocker. Your defense sucks. What do? You need to get a pass rusher or you need some sort of help on the D-line. You had it. You didn't. I'm not even going to finish that rant because we all know where that goes. But they now trade for Quinnen Williams, giving up Mozzie Smith, a 2nd-round pick this year and a 1st-round pick next year to the Jets.
I thought Kenny Clark was their guy. I thought he was going to be the guy that will help them stop the run. Done shit.
Yeah.
No. Just remember.
Yeah.
Jerry did say this was to get more pieces. I said Kenny's good, but he wasn't going to be Micah Parsons good. That's why we traded for Micah Parsons.
Right.
And he's 29, and then I think Quinnen's 26, maybe 26.
Yeah,
so
I think he's. So they're presumably gonna sign him to an extension because I think Quinnen Williams has like 2 years left. Remains under contract through 2027.
Yeah, they have to extend him. You don't trade for him to not.
They have to.
Exactly. But in this case, like you said, the Jets have made two amazing moves. But I think if we think back to about like 3-4 years ago, the
You didn't touch it.
Dolphins.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry,
No,
go
I
ahead.
was
I didn't mean
I
to
was
interrupt.
gonna say the Dolphins made similar moves. They had like 3 first-round picks in one year and 2 first-round picks the following year, and they blew all 5 of those picks. So yes, this is great that the Jets are actually investing in the draft in this manner, and they know that their season is done. They're probably going to have a top 3 pick at the end of this year. So why not just reload your entire roster with more picks, with more draft capital? The important part is you have to get it right. Now, looking at the past 2 years, early rounds, Jets have been getting it mostly right, right? Like getting Olufashanu, that was an excellent pick. Will McDonald, that was really good as well. Last year, I think they also got a tackle. I can't. I'm blanking out on.
Big tackle, big rookie tackle. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So that is a solid selection. Elijah Barrett Tucker, when he's healthy, amazing, right? So they've figured out 3 of their 5 offensive line pieces for the long term if they remain healthy. Now, that is all well and good. But still, do you really trust the Jets? It is not a stable organization. This year, they don't have a quarterback. The quarterback class is also not looking that great. So even if you do have a top 5 pick, top 3 pick, you spend it on a quarterback. It's like Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson all over again. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. The thing is, the Jets have to take shots because now they're
Yeah.
staring down a barrel of Drake May and Josh Allen for 10 years. So the approach there, which I'd imagine, is similar to I think kind of what the Lions did it, which was they traded away their star quarterback. They had one more acquisition that they made so when Dan came in, it was a trade away Stafford and they traded away another person. They got two firsts, and then they got Goff with that package. So I think that was
Right.
kind of the secret sauce there is they got Goff, which I think supercharged their rebuild because they stayed with him when he was 0-9. Like they stayed with them. But they knew like the team was bad. Like Matthew Stafford was a fine, or not Stafford. Goff was a fine average quarterback. He was fine. But the team wasn't going to win through him. They were going to win through everything else, and then he was going to be the piece to kind of tie it together. So I'd imagine they're looking at that kind of similar approach. So that's like the best case. You trust your coach, you trust your GM, you draft linemen and you draft best players available. So Branch, Jack Campbell, Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Like they weren't high value positions, but they were the best at their positions outside of the Gibbs piece because Bijan was in that draft. Again, you can argue semantics. So yeah, there's a road. The thing is they have to get quarterback right, or they do the resurgence thing that the Seahawks have done, that the Lions kind of did, that the Colts are trying to do, and the Bucks, which is you build a nasty roster and you find one of those like second team quarterbacks that were highly touted. You bring them in, your defense is strong, you kind of got a vet QB, and you work with it. But again, when you're staring down the barrel of Drake May and Josh Allen, like you have to find a way. And in theory, Aaron Glenn can draft a young defense and figure it out. In theory, do I think they will? I mean, probably not, because Josh Allen's just, you can give him scraps and he's going to win 10 games. So
yeah. I mean, he has like a top 10 passing offense with Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and someone else. Wide receiver.
So, yeah.
So we'll finish off this trade deadline with one more trade. I think this was an amazing trade for both teams. Or actually, sorry, no. Amazing trade for just the Seahawks. They trade for Rashid Shaheed from the Saints for just a 2026 fourth round and a fifth round pick. That's it. I think I think the Saints should have received at least something more. Maybe instead of fourth and fifth, maybe a third and a fifth. But
The third's tough because like that was the Brees Hall market, and would you rather have Brees Hall for 2 or 3 years or Rashid? Like I don't know, right? Like maybe the fourth
yeah,
and fifth actually adds up to whatever the charts say is a third. It's
right.
just hard because then they also have to extend Rashid, so that there is cost there, right?
Mhm.
And like the Saints at that point, they're just trying to acquire capital to rebuild that team as well.
Yeah,
And that's dire straits. Like you could be the Saints.
yeah.
Like at least the Jets have a ton of capital. You can be excited. And Aaron Glenn, in theory, is a tough, fun coach, right? Dire straits with the Saints now.
Yeah, I think like Kellen Moore. I think he is the coach for them, at least for the
Yeah, I didn't mean to
two,
make
3
my
years.
take about Kellen Moore when I said
But
Aaron Glenn, but
yeah.
the roster construction,
Oh yeah.
they're dealing with the repercussions of pushing it out when they're in the Drew Brees years, right? Drew Brees years, pushing it out, the credit card, all the debt, all that, and then now it's come due. So for the last 2 years, they've been eating it.
Yeah.
So, and this is what it looks like. So,
Alrighty. Let's finish off. We'll move on to the actual. I'll just have like one more piece of news. That's it, and then we'll move on to the Packers Eagles. Now, Antonio Brown is facing charges of attempted murder.
Yeah.
For just what? I'll just say that. Terrible news. He is in jail in New Jersey after he was arrested in Dubai. And then he's going to be tried in Florida. So apparently, just a brief description, he was accused of grabbing a handgun from a security staffer after a celebrity boxing match on May 16th and fired 2 shots at the guy after he had gotten into a fist fight with him earlier. And apparently the bullets grazed the security officer's neck, so he's fine. But Antonio Brown is going to jail. There's like video evidence of Antonio Brown shooting the security staffer, and is very evident.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna end it off at that. Let's move on.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to be doing a recap of week 9. I'll get started with the Packers facing the Panthers.
Let's talk about it. Let
Right.
us talk about this. Please tell us what happened that game. We're all wanting to know what did one of the top teams in the NFC do that week?
They played like one of the top teams in the NFC. The Panthers did. The Panthers played excellent defense. They played efficient football. And, that's why they're one of the top 7 teams in the NFC. Packers, I don't know, man. I don't know what we are. No, realistically speaking, it's just every year, it's just 2 or 3 losses that happens where we just kind of play down to the competition, which we shouldn't have, but every team has this. Eagles have the Giants loss. We have the Panthers and the Browns loss. So even the Lions have a loss to us. So it is what it is. Packers, they play well against tough competition. This game was very unique in that the defense was amazing. Yeah, we let up like 134 yards, but that's because when you look at the drive chart, you can understand why the Panthers had 100 or Rico Dowdle had 134 rushing yards. We had a fumble, then 2 field goals, then missed field goal, interception, turnover on downs, and then finally a touchdown. So by missing a field goal, having an interception, fumble, turnover on downs, which should have been another interception, but it wasn't. That was the turnover on downs. So repeated mistakes. What really needs to be resolved is not necessarily Jordan Love. I have no doubt that Jordan Love is going to play well. What really needs to be resolved is the consistency in play calling from week to week. Because there are moments in a game where Matt LaFleur is on a heater and he knows exactly what play calls to call. Cowboys being the main example. Going to toe-to-toe with the Cowboys. Yes, it's a terrible defense, but still having a very efficient, great play calling scenario. And then in overtime, both Love and LaFleur is, saved us from a potential loss. So just knowing the potential that we can reach and not having it be a consistent week to week performance, which you guys can also complain about. Eagles have faced a lot of consistency issues, but I think this is just the nature of good teams. They're just trying to figure it out. What matters most now is in November how these next 8 weeks are going to look like. Because we face 5 of our 6 division matches in this next 8 weeks. Both against Vikings, both against Bears, and then once on Thanksgiving versus the Lions, plus the Eagles matchup. So we have maybe 2 more easy victories. Otherwise, we're facing only divisional opponents. So right now is like crunch time to resolve the inconsistencies and create a strong, disciplined offense. That is the part that we need to fix because it reared its ugly head again against the Panthers. Multiple false starts, multiple offensive holdings that just were incredible down drive killers. Especially that second to last drive, that was you got to have it type of a drive where we had a turnover on downs on 4th and 8. That should not have gone that way. That should have been a touchdown performance or a touchdown drive. Then the next one would have, just iced the game at that point. So just these type of, inconsistent performances is what really needs to be locked out. Because if we have something like this against the Eagles or the Lions or any other good team in the NFC in the playoffs, we're not going to win anything. And then the worst part from this game is Tucker Kraft. Season-ending ACL tear, done for the year. Probably the biggest loss outside of losing Jordan Love to our offense. So, yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to play much better against the Eagles because it's just the nature of the Packers. And plus, it's in Lambeau, so we do have that going for us. But yeah, this game, it was just typical of the Packers for the past 3 years. Yeah, and that's it. Do you guys want to talk about anything that happened with the Eagles over the break, over the bye?
Well, I'll say that at least for the Packers' sake, just because you touched on it. I think that's just the mark of a young team. That's just kind of what they are, week to week. It's also part of the reason why, like, as talented as they are, I don't know how one team can project them to go into the Super Bowl, at least just yet. I think they're still too young and too inconsistent week to week. And as you mentioned, they play up to competition and they play very much down to their competition, right? But they have all the talent in the world to go out and beat anybody week to week. So Tucker Kraft was a tough loss, but you still have plenty of guys on that team that can, make up for that sort of talent gap, right? And again, we're going to talk about that Packers-Eagles game, I'm sure, later on. So as far as what the Eagles did during the bye week, obviously we came off the game against the Giants, probably the best 60 minutes of football that we played all season long. Was the best play calling game by Patullo, best game by Jalen Hurts, I thought, outside of that Vikings game, obviously. Looked like he was in total control. Saquon Barkley broke the 100-yard mark. busting off a 60-yard run, right? Devontae looked good. Everybody looked good on the defense and offensive side of the ball, and obviously A.J. Brown wasn't on the field, and people wanted to see if there's a correlation to that. I think it was just a coincidence. I think the Giants are not a very good football team. They caught us on that Thursday night game, but that was also playing against the Broncos. You had a really tough loss then, and then it was the second game in 4 days. Just a perfect matchup, perfect timing. Yeah. We didn't take them seriously, and they punched us in the mouth. And, going into the bye week, the vibes are feeling pretty good. You get Jalen Phillips for a third-round pick, which is just like, hey, listen, man, like that's what it is. That is what it is. That's what it's gonna be, right? I know there was a talk about Myles Garrett, 3 first-round picks and all that stuff, right? But this is typical Howie. Howie will get the news out there. I'm like, we're going for the big gun, we're going for the big high-end player, and then he ends up getting like low risk, high reward value, 3rd-round pick, Jalen Phillips, 26-year-old, guy who played with Vic Fangio before. So I think he's going to come in and replace what Josh Sweat brought to us last season. Just be a veteran presence, be able to play the run, be able to pass rush. And he's going to be playing in this Packers game, and he's going to make a big impact, I think. So I think they're giving him the start, basically. So he's going to get some snaps, and everybody on that pass rush is going to go, their snap count's going to change and all that jazz. But and then obviously Jair Alexander, we get him for like a 6th-round, 5th-round pick or whatever it was. I don't think he's going to do much. I think he's just kind of cooked. I think that's just more like, hey, here's a dart throw because, you have Keely Ringo there. So, but really the Jalen Phillips move was the big signing. That was the big trade. And I thought it was the perfect trade for Howie, the perfect trade for the Philadelphia Eagles. Came at the right place, right time. And he's excited to be here. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do going into this game. So all's well in Philadelphia at the moment right now. Everything's pretty good.
All right. Let's move on to the Rutschek. Do you want to just talk about the I don't know if you're going to be here the entirety of the episode, Asaf, or if you want to just talk about Packers Eagles and move out.
Hey man, I'm here. If you want me here, I'm here. Like
awesome.
That's what I'm saying. So
awesome.
whatever you guys want me to do, I'm riding with it. So
awesome. Let's keep you in there. Well, I think just to add, I think this is why, you know what, I'm happy because right now this is why we have Asaf on the show. He knows a lot more on the details of that stuff. Bahut shukriya. Hey, this is what happens when you learn Duolingo every day. No, I started doing that, but I would also say that it's been like it was like a very quiet off season, and of course it's proven. And there's one thing we can get the monkey off our backs. No, AJ Brown is not getting traded because $90 million dead cap. Howie is not an idiot. And this is to you, Cameron. You wanted AJ Brown so bad. You and your trolling ass Bills. Well, just for that, Cameron, you know what happens when you piss me off too much? You know what happens?
Listen, man, they've been through enough. Don't do it.
No.
They've been through enough.
Oh, no.
Rutschek is too salty now. It's coming out,
man,
whether we want it or not.
It's too
much. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The Rutschek curse goes to the Buffalo Bills.
Damn, poor Buffalo, man.
Yeah.
No, but like honestly, I thought this was like a very interesting week of football. Like this Sunday. I'm not talking about Thursday because I don't know what the hell I saw on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
No, it was if I wanted to deplete the Fifth Amendment, like for cruel and unusual punishment, this would be it. Watching this game, but other than that, I thought this was a very quiet week, which I wanted for the Eagles. Nothing too dramatic, nothing too like exciting, but except hey, we're focusing on rebuilding our team. Everyone's gonna be 100%. And I just checked. Yeah, Cam Jurgens did not practice again today, so I think it looks like we're gonna be seeing a lot more Brett Toth under center. We'll get more to it on that, but I am satisfied. I'm satisfied with the way that the Eagles approached the bye week, and thank God for that Thursday game. So we had 2 mini bye weeks. So what's not to love?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, coming off like you said, just like a mini bye, all the rest that we've gotten, everybody's getting help, and like in the NFC particularly, all these teams are really banged up. Like you said, we talked about it before. Tucker Kraft is hurt. The Lions have some injuries. The 49ers are banged up, right? Like the Philadelphia Eagles, not only are they getting healthier, but they're also one of the few teams that actually added a player to make them better. Like them and Seattle are the two teams, right? So
yeah,
we are in as good of a position as anybody in the NFC, and this bye week could not have gone better for the Philadelphia Eagles. They did nothing other than add a star edge player and get the 1 seed. They didn't have to play a game. They didn't have to do anything. And right now they're at the top of the NFC conference. And we all know what it's like to go on the road to Lincoln Financial Field in the playoffs. It's almost a for sure victory for the Philadelphia Eagles if they can maintain the 1 seed. That's why this Packers game and this next stretch of games is so important for every team in the NFC, particularly the Philadelphia Eagles. So we are in the driver's seat right now. It's as good as it gets to be a Philadelphia Eagle fan at the moment.
All right.
All righty. Let's move on to our Masala.
And before that, this is why we have Asif on the show, man. Like, he knows what's up.
Yes.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys.
So let's move on to the Masala Games of the Week recap quickly before we move on to the Punch Minute segment. I have the Seahawks. They don't deserve to be called Sea Chickens now. They've earned the right to be called the Seahawks versus the Commanders.
They're growing.
Seahawks are clearly
right before our eyes.
They're clearly a top 4 team in the NFC. I'm not surprised. I'll probably say like Eagles, Lions, Seahawks, Packers. Like that's where I put them right now because they're playing consistent football. Sam Darnold is on a tear. Like he is legitimately actually performing really well.
MVP
and
oh yeah,
definitely. Like they don't have a running game. They were outrushed by almost 80 yards by Washington and still beat them by 24 points. Yeah.
That's insane. That's incredible.
It was can I say I don't like to say it, but it was literally belt to ass that game.
It was 100%. 100%. So like Seattle had 24 rush attempts for 88 yards and a touchdown. Washington had 36 attempts for 157 and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Whoa.
Really? Wow.
And that's
incredible.
And the Commanders' defense is one of the worst run defenses in the league. And the Seahawks are supposed to be one of the best run defenses in the league. So, like, the reason why that rushing difference did not matter is because Sam Darnold played at such an exceptional rate. 21 of 24, 330, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's as perfect as you can ask for, minus that interception. Sacked 0 times, whereas Jaden Daniels was eventually sacked 4 times, and we have to talk about his injury. That, I don't know if you guys have seen that injury, but that was brutal.
I don't want to talk about that.
That was a tough injury. That's a tough injury.
Yeah. Dislocated elbow. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That is I mean, luckily for him, it was his non-throwing arm, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. We're going to talk about football, right?
Right.
He should be out for the year, but he's going to try to push to come back at the end of the year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, that was a nasty injury. And that's kind of one of the things about Jaden Daniels, as good as he is, that like people are concerned about. Can he hold up?
Yeah.
Being a skinny guy. Yeah, listen, it's a man's sport. It's a big boy sport. You got to be able to take some hits. And, you know, I mean, that was just, it's been a rough year for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels in particular. So hopefully he comes out on the better end of it and, you know, it doesn't affect his career or anything like that. So,
yeah, we don't want another RG3 situation, you know, when the Commanders are just getting their feet under them and then they're looking like a competitive team, is going to be terrible if that happens. But I think Jaden Daniels, he's probably going to recover. Like you said, it's his non-throwing arm, so it shouldn't affect him that much. It's not his legs. It's not a serious. I mean, it is an injury. It's a serious injury, but it's not as serious as
not
like
career threatening. Not career threatening.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
So he should be fine. He had a okay performance. It was Honestly, this Commanders, like the way that they approach team building from a roster like building perspective. Last year, they went all in on veterans who were at the end of their contracts or had to sign like 1 or 2 year deals, and created one of like the oldest rosters but most experienced rosters in the league, which in my opinion was one of the reasons why they were able to even get to the championship, right? Plus Jaden Daniels rookie season, everything fell in line. Problem is the veterans are not playing up to their initial status. Their rookies are not that great, and their star quarterback has been injured throughout the entire season, like on and off. Star wide receiver has been injured throughout the season. In Scary Terry, they don't have a good depth in that perspective. So from a roster building standpoint, they have not done a good job of effectively creating a long-term roster, unlike what good teams like the Eagles and the Packers do, right? They consistently invest in young talent to keep the depth alive and deep. So Commanders haven't really done that, and it's showing. It is 100% showing in the lack of efficient, effective talent that they have. So I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do in the offseason for the next couple of years, how they go about building this roster again, because boy, do they need it. This is not a very competitive team right now. And if they want to compete, like the Giants, if they can figure out an offensive line next year, I think Jackson Dart has it. If Cam Scatterbo can miraculously recover from his injuries, he can be their number one running back, right? At least for the next 2-3 years before CTE gets him with the way that he runs. Malik Neighbors is going to come back, and they have a couple of decent. They have a decent receiving core, so they might be slightly competitive from an offensive standpoint at least, and their defense is also kind of getting a little bit better. The Cowboys, their offense is what it is, so they'll always remain competitive that way. And Eagles are the Eagles. So if the Washington Commanders want to compete in the NFC East for the next couple of years, they have to approach a proper, roster construction. Like you can't be out there giving Deebo Samuel a lot of money. He's not the answer there. Laramie Tunsil, like Josh Connolly was a good selection, and I think he's really proven that. But they need to invest more in the interior of the offensive line. They need to invest more in the in the front seven. Bobby Wagner, they need to get a replacement. Von Miller, I don't think he's performing as to expectations. I don't really see him. Yeah, he's had 11 tackles and just 4 sacks in like 9 games. That's not really cutting it from a premier edge rusher, right? You need a little bit more. So investing in young talent is what they really need to do. Seahawks have done it, and look at how it's turned out. Their defense is not full of blue chip talent, but they are still very effective from what they need to get done. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the Seahawks are like the 2nd or 3rd seed in the NFC in the playoff time. Now, what happens in the playoffs and how Sam Darnold plays under pressure, that's going to be another story. But at least for now, during the regular season, he's performing up to MVP level. Alrighty, that's from my end. Rakshak, what about yours?
So I had the Bills versus Chiefs. Bills, you just won your Super Bowl. Please collect your things and just move on over there. But I mean, honestly, it looked like a very close game. But what stood out was the fact that the Bills were able to effectively run the ball. Yes, you could say that Josh Allen was 23 for 26, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, but James Cook, I think 2 players stood out to me on offense outside of Josh Allen's, James Cook and Dalton Kincaid. Compared to what the Chiefs have on the secondary right now, I don't think they have anyone that can cover Kincaid. All Kincaid needs to do is catch, and he's good. He could be the AFC version of Tucker Kraft. I'm AFC version, not the full version.
Yeah.
And apparently Joey Bosa did something. Did you know that? Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa and Greg Russo showed up. And I would also think, and apparently, like Joey Bosa and Greg Russo combined for Mahomes to hit Mahomes 9 times. Mahomes on 50% of his dropbacks, 53% of his dropbacks when pressured. 3 out of 16 passes completed, 61 yards, and an INT under duress. And an interception goes to that rookie Maxwell Hairston, whom we saw on the live NFL Masala draft show when our man Asif was here. And I thought that, I mean, congrats on the INT kid. Keep up that hustle. And this was I think this was his first game start at the starting position. I don't know, he came in as a backup a couple of times, but hell of a job. And can we talk about Cole Bishop? He was everywhere on the field, I think what makes the Chiefs offense so good, not only are they able to catch, but the yards after catch, the way that they play physical. Cole Bishop was like literally flying everywhere. He's like a better version of Sidney Brown, if you know what I'm talking about. Like Sidney Brown just wants to play Mortal Kombat and hit someone. Cole Bishop actually diagnoses the play, actually like covers well, and then attacks. And I think I'm trying to pull up. Oh yeah, for James, I think for rushing yards, and for defense, Buffalo's defense. Here's an important thing: they held the Chiefs to 3 of 13 on third downs. That is a major thing, and stopping a late Hail Mary and the timely turnovers. What are the 3 things that I say that can kill offensive drives? Sacks,
penalties, turnovers.
Those are your 3 big things. And Bills Titans, Dalton Kincaid combined for 149 receiving yards and a touchdown. I mean, I thought like the Bill, and here's the thing: you don't need to play like a full proper game. Yes, it's a regular season, God forbid, but I thought this gives the Bills like a little bit of a momentum change. You know, they lost 2. Prior to the bye week and destroying the crap out of Carolina, they had a 2-game losing streak to the Patriots and the Falcons. But I think this time it's like you're saying, like, yes, but can they finish? When we say about the Bills, they're a good team, but can they finish in the regulars in the season? This is not again future playoff matchup, but I don't know. Next time we meet, it could be either Arrowhead or last time at Highmark, but I don't know. I still think there are a lot more questions to ask for the Bills. They're winning with Josh. It's like they're winning with Josh Allen and Tyler Bass. If he has to make those field goals, man. If he keeps on missing them, we're gonna have another infamous lore. Like they had wide right, wide left. It's gonna be the block this time, man. Can't be doing that. And James Cooks, 27 for 114 yards. This is what an offensive line, having good offensive line and running the ball more. Beautiful setup. What did you want? Anything else you want to add in, Asif?
Oh no, he saved my ass in fantasy that day. I mean, so that's me applauding James Cook for the performance. We appreciate James Cook on that game. So definitely needed to win in that one.
Oh, and can I also add one more thing? I also think the Bills are pure hypocrites. Sean McDermott is the biggest hypocrite of them all. This is the same Sean McDermott who is a bad defensive coordinator when he was with the Eagles, after the late Jim Johnson, God rest his soul, passed away. He had big shoes to fill, and he couldn't do jack shit. Now that he's with the Bills, you know what's even ridiculous? In the offseason, the tush push should be banned for a health reason. Motherfucker, you're running the tush push twice. You have more tush pushes than the Eagles, and you're doing this shit? Are you fucking kidding me? The audacity of this man. Oh, man. This is pure hypocrisy at best.
Hey,
Oh.
yeah, listen, man. I'm with you. I think every team, hell, every single team runs some sort of version of the tush push, and it's very. I find it hysterical that only when the Eagles tend to do it, because they only do it in the red zone, basically. They only do it for touchdowns. That's why it's such a problem. And because you can't stop it, they have to go and complain to the league about stopping the play. But again, don't give me the crap about it's horrible to officiate. Don't give me the crap about the aesthetic.
It's football.
Though. It's football. It's football.
No, it's not about aesthetic.
No, it's the officiating. I get you. It's the officiating. We didn't hear that though in 2023. I didn't hear that in 2022. I didn't hear that in 2024. It has to be now because finally the Eagles won the Super Bowl and they've had more success than almost any team outside the Chiefs. Again, I'm cool if they get rid of it because, quite frankly, they're just going to run a quarterback sneak without anybody behind Jalen, and he's still going to be just as successful because it's the offensive line. It's Jalen Hurts. That's just what it is, right? And if worst case scenario, yeah, let me hand it off to Saquon Barkley for a yard out. I think we'll get 1 yard with Saquon Barkley. But again, like you said, I find it fascinating that of all the teams to run it more than the Philadelphia Eagles, it's the Buffalo Bills. And we're not going to ban the play because Josh Allen is 6'5", 260 and is a locomotive, right? You know, that's just football. You either have a guy like that or you don't. Cam Newton made a career doing that very exact play. Tom Brady did that very exact same play. Nobody had complaints about it then. It's only when the Eagles do it. But when everybody else does it, the Packers did it with Tucker Kraft. That's what they did. They'll motion him out and they'll put him under center to get a yard. Nobody complains about it then.
We're not offside all the time, though. We're not offside.
I could call penalties on all offensive linemen every single play. I could call holding on every single play.
That's not the point.
I can call a false start on tackles, dropping back in pass blocking every single play. You could say they should, but then that would be every single play. That's the problem.
Not every single play, though.
But it is, though. Jawan Taylor made a whole damn career with the Chiefs for doing that. Lane Johnson does it. The Bills do it. Every team does it. Every team has a penalty every single play. You can't tell me that the play is tough to officiate. The refs objectively suck, too. They don't know what a catch is. You can't tell me a play like that is tough to officiate and you don't know what a catch is. So,
in this case, it is clear and obvious that it is an offsides every time that the Eagles line up.
100%. I'm with you. If it's offsides, it's offsides. You call it. Totally get it. And quite frankly, 100%. Just get rid of the play. That way we don't have to deal with it. Fine.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's not going to change the fact that every QB sneak that the Eagles run, that the Bills run, that any quarterback runs is going to be a highly successful play. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like that just is what it is. So like, I don't think it's the tush push. It's just the fact like, hey, the one team's better at it than most other teams. That's just what it is. So that's my soapbox on that. I really don't. I usually don't get too angry about the tush push, but that one of those little things that kind of drives me up a wall when people tell me that. But I get you. You know, tough to officiate. That's the reason they're going to get rid of it at the end of the season, albeit all good. So, yeah.
I do agree that like every team has. I know the craft. What do we call it? The love shove. We used to call it the love shove because Jordan Love used to do it. But then, love shove. But no, now it's Tucker Kraft who does it, and he's not pushed. He just kind of sneaks.
It's like a traditional QB
sneak. It's just a tight end sneak. Yeah. It's just a tight end sneak. Yeah, like you said, it is. You guys are the best at it because obviously the variation that you created was using the advantages that you guys naturally have, which is an amazing offensive line coach who can make sure that you guys can get away with any sort of infraction that you could hypothetically be causing, and a really strong, powerful quarterback. This can't be done with someone like Kyler Murray, right? You need a strong quarterback.
Small as hell, man.
Exactly.
And mind you, it's not as successful, and even when Tanner McGee does it, or when Kenny Pickett does it, you know what I mean? Like Jalen Hurts is a key figure. Oh, what's up, P? What's up, big time?
And with this being said, and before didn't mean to interrupt you on this one, but we have the one and only Mr. Pete Nathan, the Pete Nathan Show. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Anand, you know what this means. This is the Eagles takeover.
Oh, boy, I feel bad for Anand now, man.
I need Landry right now.
I feel bad for Anand, bro.
Yeah. You ain't got shit. Okay. Awesome. As you were saying, man, go ahead.
No. We were just talking about the tush push, Pete. So, all I was saying is that like Jalen Hurts makes the tush push for the most part. It's not as successful with Tanner McKee. It's not as successful with any other quarterback. When Jalen Hurts is in, he makes the tush push, and he's done it with Brett Toth in front of him. He's done it with Landon Dickerson out of the lineup. Like, he's the reason that play makes it go. Again, it's just they're gonna ban it, so it is what it is. But a team that actually
will figure out a way to maneuver around
on percentage plays in short yardage situations. The Lions are more successful than the Eagles, but nobody complains about the Lions in short yardage situations. Yeah. Nobody does it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's really, I think, part of the, this discussion is because it is Philadelphia, and we are, again, objectively just the most obnoxious fan base. We are, because that's just Philadelphia for you. But that's part of the reason why nobody likes to play. They're waiting for everybody in Philadelphia to just come crashing down so they can harp on it. And the success that they have had with this play and over the past 2 years is inexplicable outside of the talent. And people are just trying to find reasons to, chip away at that success. So if that means getting rid of the tush push, go for it. It's not going to change a damn thing. That's really what my take is. It's not going to change a damn thing. The team is too good. The offensive line is too good. The coaching is too good. And quite frankly, the players themselves are just too talented for it to affect them long term. So get rid of the play. All for it. It ain't going to change a damn thing.
Are they trying to get rid of it this year, or?
They'll get rid of it in the offseason, probably.
In the offseason.
Yeah, they'll definitely get rid of it in the offseason. Right. But they had the vote last offseason. It didn't come to pass. But now that they got the officiating, and now the Eagles that's why they have all the Eagle games in prime time too, right? They were hoping they're going to run it a bunch of times and call a bunch of penalties or whatever it is. Now it becomes not watchable TV, according to a lot of people, when every team in the league is starting to run it now. All of a sudden, if you notice, second half of the year, all these teams are running quarterback sneaks the same way. They're going to try to milk it as much as they can. But, by this season's end, it's probably going to be done with. They're not going to be able to push from behind like that, right? So, we'll just see how it goes. But I guarantee you, if the Bills win the Super Bowl on a quarterback sneak, they're not going to get rid of the play. I can guarantee you. Because that's just what the Buffalo Bills do. Yeah. That's what it is.
All righty. Let's move on quickly to the Punch Minute segment before we move on to why we're all here. Except for Landry. His part was recorded earlier, so right now it's probably just going to be more from the Eagle side, because last time it was almost exclusively from the Packer side. So
I had to bear through all of this. I need y'all to take over, please. Help this poor soul here.
Hey, all right. We weren't that bad, okay? We didn't trash talk the Eagles, okay? We spoke specifically from the Packers standpoint.
Okay. I'm playing. Let's go. So, all right, let's go with it, man. Parchment segments. What we got first?
All right. Well, in the AFC, the Ravens took on the Dolphins. Lamar Jackson's first game back from an injury, and he showed why he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They won 28-6. Tua Tagovailoa just needs to retire at
No,
this
correction.
point because
Correction. He's no longer Tua Tagovailoa. He's officially down to Tua Chunga at the moment. He doesn't get it
exactly.
back.
Tua Chunga right into the Florida Everglades, man. He's not even a serviceable quarterback at this point. The amount of he has to stop playing.
Yeah.
Too many injuries, too many he's afraid of his own shadow. He's afraid to throw the football past the
I'm scared for him. Every time he plays, I get scared for him. Genuinely.
Yeah.
So that happened. This was probably the wildest game in the entire NFC.
Are you talking this game? Are you talking about the game?
Two of the most unlikely suspects of this game. It wasn't the Ravens or the Bills or the Eagles or the Chiefs or the Packers. No, it was this Joe Flacco-led Cincinnati Bengals versus the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson Chicago Bears. 90 or 89 points total scored. Flacco with a career best 470 passing yards in a game. And the Bears win 47-42. There were 31 points scored in the fourth quarter.
No defense.
No defense at all. The last play was some of the most absolutely ridiculous, asinine things I've ever seen a defense attempt to do, which is try and tackle Colston Loveland. He speeds away from every Bengals defender to get the game-winning touchdown. Colston Loveland, a tight end.
They're
what
so
the?
bad. They're
What
so
is
bad.
this? Okay.
They're
I'm surprised that urinating tree didn't call Podemic a greatest game video of this, because that's how bad it was. If you guys are like for fans, if you love watching defense, do not watch this game. Avert your eyes. Put eye drops, pour bleach if you have to. It was bad.
It was one of the worst defense I've ever seen. 100%. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
So
Yeah, literally.
Oh my God. Chase Brown.
Any playmaker on this team. We just got to play complementary football. We put the ball in the end zone and go up a point at the end, finish the fucking game. Just end it. That's it. That's what we need to do. Just end the fucking game. Make them get us the ball back. Let us fucking go to 22 victory and let's end the game. That's how I feel.
I will say this though about Chase Brown here. You're the last guy. You're the last guy that needs to be talking. Okay,
true.
you're fumbling ass cannot be
exactly.
out there talking about the defense got to finish games. Stop putting the ball on the ground. Fucking Butterfingers over there. But he's right though. He's right though.
Yeah,
you score 40, you better win the game. You got to get a stop. I mean, that was the most putrid performance. I thought Dallas's defense was bad.
Yeah.
This Bengals defense over the past 2 years, it's the
Correction.
worst I've ever
Bungles.
seen.
They're the
Objectively,
It's the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
over the last 2 or 3 years, they have scored. They're the worst defense in allowing losses where the offense has scored 30 plus points. 8 games.
I don't know what to say.
times. And they thought Lou Anarumo was the problem. Look at what he's done with the Colts defense when you actually give him talent.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Joe
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I would not be surprised, but if you want out of Cincy, I'm perfectly okay with it.
Yeah, 100%. The Chicago Bears, they had nearly as many rushing yards as they did passing yards. They had 280 rushing yards. They had 302 passing yards.
Right. Caleb threw for 280 in that game. It was a bunch of trickery for yardage. That's insane.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez. What a game that was. What a wild game that was.
Yeah, can I also say if again to any fantasy football owners, if you had the Bengals and the Bears defenses starting for that week, what's wrong
You're
with
dying.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
you? What is
losing.
wrong with you? That
You
is like
suck at fantasy football at that
Yeah,
point.
literally. Yeah, you're in a bad spot. You're
Yeah,
in a bad
you-
spot at that point.
But hey,
Right.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson made his Bears debut. He got himself a sack. Ooh.
Hey, look,
God damn it.
jeez, man. I mean,
what
what a wild game that was. Wild game. Wild game.
It's definitely up there for Masala games of the year for sure. Alrighty.
I think that was
Let's
for the
move on.
Kachura Bowl. That was the Kachura
Oh,
Bowl.
yeah. Actually, you know what the Kachura defensive bowl was? The Broncos versus Texans. 18-15.
Oh my
Bo Nix being Bo Miss all over
Did
again.
he become Mo Picks?
Oh yeah.
He was Mo
actually,
Picks.
Did he have how many interceptions did he have? He had 0, and he had 1 interception. So he
Oh, yeah,
he
one
got-
interception.
Yeah, yeah,
but
one
like-
INT.
But that
Yeah.
Thursday night game, he became Mo Picks again.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I can't tell if
Um,
he's good. Like, I don't know if he's good. They're 7-2.
Yeah. That's because
That I
Tom
think
Brady.
that's yeah.
I know it's
and,
good
and
defense. Their defense is actually
has to be
good.
defense.
It's just like
Yeah.
fourth quarter Broncos is the greatest football team I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't seen anything like it. It's unbelievable.
I have we have PTSD from that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. Right.
Alrighty. Some more games. The Patriots edge out the Falcons 24-23. Drake May is the savior for the Patriots once more. He needs some help. His number 1 wide receiver can't be Keyshawn Butte. It has to be someone else. But they are
Really?
making it work.
Not
Huh?
Diggs.
I mean, it is technically Diggs, but when you look at the way that they play both Diggs and Keyshawn Butte,
Mhm.
it's kind of like
He's throwing it to
passing the
Keyshawn.
baton. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Can you imagine getting beat by a guy named Booty?
Pause. 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 Pause.
And
Disclaimer,
also,
disclaimer: NFL Masala is for kids only.
and also this game, it was more Pop Douglas. Demario Douglas had 6 receptions along with Hunter Henry. So the problem is he was sacked 6 times by the Falcons pass rush. Now, that is not a recipe for success. They did win, but it's not a recipe for future success. So that's something the Patriots do have to work on. But I trust Mike Vrabel and that coaching staff to figure it out. If anything, the Patriots are just back up there. They're what, 6-2 now? 7-2. So they're 7-2. They're, I think, tied second in the AFC overall. They're leading the division. If you look at the top 4 of the AFC, it is 2014 all over again. Patriots, Broncos, Steelers, and Colts.
That's crazy.
What is happening? It's 2014 reincarnated.
That's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So that happened. Chargers beat the Titans barely by 7 points, 27-20. This was the shocker upset. Steelers destroy the Colts. Initially, it was terrible, but they beat them by 27-20 was the final score. Steelers somehow managed to shut down a rampant Colts offense. And it's not because of Daniel Jones, it's because of Jonathan Taylor. They figured out that Jonathan Taylor is the engine that makes this Colts offense run, and they held him to just 45 yards.
Yeah. I
Just
think it was
45 rushing yards. Yeah.
It's
And
all
that
because of that
forced
high-end
Daniel
talent. It's a high-end talent
Mhm.
that is Steelers football.
Exactly. So it forced Daniel Jones to throw the ball. Steelers were all over that one as well. He did have 340 passing yards, but he had 3 picks, 1 touchdown, 5 sacks. So this was not Daniel Jones's best performance. We'll see if this is just a blip or if it is an indication for things to come in the future. So let's see how Shane Steichen adjusts in the future. All right. Last but not least, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Las Vegas Raiders going to overtime and winning 30-29 on a missed 2-point conversion by the Raiders. Raiders. Geno Smith, man.
Even Pete Carroll can't save that team.
No.
Our condolences to the Las Vegas Raider fans out there. You guys have been suffering for a very long time.
With this being said, I'd like to give a moment of silence. I'm wearing my black glasses.
Yeah, literally.
Thank you. Services are not complete.
It is brutal over there with the Raiders, man. They just look like they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
They look like they have no idea what they're doing.
No, Geno Smith is definitely not it. I think there was a stat where
they didn't even put Kenny Pickett in the game.
They did.
In the game.
Oh, they did?
No, that's the end.
They should have. Yeah.
I don't know why they kept bringing Geno back. Like the dude's hurt. Like
he's hurt.
Pete Carroll's guy, because it's Pete Carroll's guy, and he's stubborn.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he's lost his fastball too. Like you know what I mean? Like, geez, tough existence over there, man.
I know, man.
When you look at Geno Smith's interception numbers, not pretty.
No.
1 0 1 2 3 0 3 1. That's how many touchdowns you should be having, not interceptions. Leads the league in interceptions, leads the league in sacks. 6 sacks, 2 1 2 4 0 5 3 4. Those are the number of sacks every game that he has had.
I have no words.
So it's one of the worst.
They stink.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad.
And I feel bad for Ashton Jenkins. Yeah,
their defense is not as bad, but the offense, stinks.
Yeah,
and that Pete Carroll can't save it right now. So
no,
that's Chip Kelly's offense, by the way.
Right.
You know, that's that motherfucker's offense over there. Excuse my mouth. I forgot. I don't know if we're allowed to curse on the show, but
no, we're good. Bro.
That offense could actually work if you have the right
Chip Kelly
players.
was out of the building.
No, that offense could still work if you have the right players in it. Like,
yeah,
they just don't
right players and Chip Kelly out of the building.
We used that offense in 2017 for Nick Foles after the playoffs. In the playoffs, that's the offense they went to.
Yeah.
That's the offense Nick was comfortable
that
with.
RPO no huddle type offense.
That's the offense he was 27-2 in. Like we took that playbook and like of course Frank Reich and Doug was using it, so they were using it better.
Yeah. Better coaching there. Better coaching with that.
Right, and we had better players, but that offense does work. It's just depends on who's in it. You know, like Geno is not the guy to run that offense. Right?
No.
Yeah.
I think Kenny might run it better than Geno.
He might.
If he give it up. I think he has the skill set to do it. You know?
Right.
But I think like the only thing that I would say that can hold this back is because I mean, if you look at their personnel, they only have 2 good targets. Ashton Jenkins and Brock Bowers. Who the hell do they have else to help them out?
Mm-hmm.
Crickets.
They just traded away Myers.
Yeah,
too,
Myers. Right? Yeah, they traded Jacoby to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I don't understand that at all.
Dumbasses.
Let's trade away the only wideout we got. Like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just makes it even harder for Ashton Jenkins now because besides Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, there are no other players who are actually going to catch the ball. So the defense is obviously going to know who the ball is going to go to. It's either those 3 players.
Yeah, man. Again, they just don't know what they're doing. Like I don't think they know what they're doing. And I know Pete Carroll is a good coach, but like this was the issue he had in Seattle too towards the end, where he had power with personnel. They had a really bad slide, and then the second he leaves, look at them now. Drafting well, draft start stockpiling up, and now you got Mike. It becomes a different culture over there. So, Pete Carroll just got to stick to coaching. I think he's got to lay off of personnel. Like you said, it's bad. Yep, 100%.
When old white guys get a lot of power, things could turn to shit.
And now we're talking about a different subject.
Okay, moving on.
to your games.
Okay, so is that it for the AFC?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it for the AFC.
I'll be quick on the NFC because there's actually some pretty decent games. But first of all, we got to talk about this one. Niners versus the Giants. Niners win 34-24. Again, Mac Jones. I think without Brock Purdy, Mac Jones 79.2% completion of his passes and threw for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. CM, like we have the band Run DMC. Now I'm saying Run CMC. Focal point of the offense, 173 total yards, 106 rushing, 67 receiving. Giants have lost 3 in a row, fell to 2-7 on the season with this loss. And apparently, good key moment after finishing a fumble after losing a fumble in the second quarter. Mac Jones finished with 135.2 QB rating and a bounce back. 49ers offense, 39 rushes for 159 yards. Giants offense only gained 246 total yards and converted only 13 first downs. I mean, just incredible. Next one, I think this is going to be a love and hate, but you're in purgatory. The Vikings beat the Lions 27-24. JJ McCarthy comes back, returns to Michigan. He beats his old teammate Aiden Hutchinson in this game. And I think the biggest one has to be I think this was a Masala moment of the week nominee. Crucial 16-yard pass to Jalen Naylor, Nate in the fourth quarter to secure the first down and the victory. Jared Goff had a late comeback with 37 yards touchdown pass to Jameson Williams, but it was not enough. I thought like JJ McCarthy, 14 for 25, 443 yards and 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Aaron Jones, 83 total yards. Apparently Jared Goff, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns for 25 for 37. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Do you know how much I love watching Amon-Ra St. Brown run routes on?
How much?
A lot. He and Sam Laporta each had 97 yards. Lions, but this was the big one from the Lions. 10 penalties and 5 sacks allowed. Remember, these were the 2 things that can kill offensive drives. Vikings outgained the Lions 426 to 372. Incredible. Rams versus Saints. Rams 34, Saints 10. Tyler Shough, not it. 50 for 24, pass 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Rashid Shaheed had 5 catches for 68 yards. Thank God he's with the Seahawks. Matt Stafford, 2 for 281 yards, 4 tutties. Devontae Adams, 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, 77 catches, 95 yards. Kyron Williams, 114 rushing yards. Oh, and here's the crazy stat. Are you ready for this? The Rams dominated the possession of time 43 minutes and 53 seconds compared to 16 minutes and 7 seconds for the Saints. They outgained the Saints 438 to 224 total yards. Saints had 2 turnovers that game.
Jeez.
Like, what are your thoughts about that stat?
Total domination.
Total
domination.
This is, I think, not only this, I have to bring this guy out. They brought the belts. And I covered the Niners, I covered that Vikings game and Rams, and my favorite game that happened on Sunday, or I think it was Saturday or Monday, but guys, on the a wise man once said this: "Stop them Cowboys!" They got their asses kicked. 27-17. Jacoby Brissett. They benched Kyler Murray. Jacoby Brissett, 21 for 31, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, along with a rushing. Marvin Harrison Jr. After his dad called him out on Twitter or on a radio show, MHJ was fed the ball. 7 receptions for 96 yards, and he had the that nasty juke against Deron Bland for that touchdown. I think his ankles. I think Deron Bland's ankles are somewhere over there. Someone check. Great field position, 23 first downs and 17 for 13. Cowboys committed 3 turnovers that game. Dak Prescott, it was bad. He was ass, but and I know we talked about this early in the Makadar news, but late Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealand blocked the punt, returned it for a touchdown. Sadly, he's no longer with us. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone. And I said this before, don't be afraid to ask for help. Rest in peace.
All right. So now let's move on to the Masala Bowl. Landry, we'll get started with you. What are the main matchups that you're looking for in terms of these two teams on both sides?
Yeah, so let's get started with that. Yep. So there's a few things. So the first is I want to see if Mitchell's going to shadow and who he's going to shadow, because there's the approach where he just shadows Dobbs. That's cool. Or he shadows Watson or Golden, and then you can just shade. And again, Dobbs isn't like a wide receiver you need this like shade coverage for, but I want to know who he is going to shadow, because if he shadows Dobbs, I think that might be a bit of a problem, because he gets all the targets. And it's not that he can't. He's going to win matchups against. Like, you're going to watch the game, and he's going to win matchups. But if that's not the case, then someone else has to step up, and that could be Golden. Like, this could be the Golden breakout game if that's the case. So I'm interested to see where that happens. I know Cooper DeJean's more of a like a box-to-box move-around guy. Like, he's not going to shadow per se. He's going to like get into the box, get dirty. He's also going to cover, but he's not like Mitchell, where Mitchell's going to cover. Like, he's your best cover corner. So that's interesting. Second thing is the trenches. I know everyone always says games with the trenches, but there's two key things: Packers offense, Eagles defense. The Packers are a really good pass blocking offensive line. Like, Jordan doesn't take a ton of sacks, and it's pretty evident with how far down we pass the ball downfield. But we haven't done a very good job run blocking, and you can see that by watching the game, and you can see that by the stats, because whenever Josh Jacobs does score touchdowns, it's because he did it. Like, he's trying to get in, he doesn't see a hole. He's about to get blown up, and he bounces it outside. Like, a lot of our red zone touchdowns of Jacobs have been him getting them, right? Yeah. And then a lot of the times he'll get tackled at the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, maybe if he was Jahmyr Gibbs, he'd get 3 more yards. But he's getting hit a lot in the backfield. So I'm interested to see how Carter plays and that matchup there. And then on the other side, so our defense, we have a very good run defense. Oh, go ahead.
Can I add something to that? By the way, in case, I mean, this may be bad news for you guys, but I don't mean to gloat. But no, hell, I'm gonna go out on this one. Via got news that Nolan Smith might be coming in for this game, and also with Nakobe Dean, we could be seeing a lot more, and I think like we could be seeing a lot more on Nakobe Dean playing that outside linebacker next to Zach Bond, and especially with Carter and Jordan Davis. You can also expect
Zach Bond.
Huh?
I went to school with Zach Bond.
Oh, you did? Oh,
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, you went with the bald eagle. That is freaking amazing, man.
Now I went. So like and the funny thing is, I knew, like, quick funny story. So he used to follow my wife on Instagram. Yeah, like when he was like a freshman and sophomore. But at the time, we were maybe girlfriend and sophomore year, boyfriend girlfriend at the time, just dating. And I mean, he stopped following her for obvious reasons, right? Like, he's now very happily married to Tally Bond. Where they met at college. I think she was a dancer there. But we were same class. Yeah, we were same class, and we both had mopeds, and we parked in the same spot. So we saw each other a lot. And it was the same thing with Jonathan Taylor too, actually. So the same thing with Jonathan Taylor. Our Wisconsin team, we were rolling, man. Like, we were cooking, man. When I was in school, like, hand that ball off, play good defense, we would only lose to Ohio State. Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, you're saying.
Yeah, but I also think like there will be chances. I think we could be seeing more three line. I think like we could be seeing a lot more three linebacker sets, especially with not only Zach Bond and Kobe Dean coming back, but also you got to keep forth with Jahad Campbell who will go back to outside linebacker, especially with the addition of Jalen Phillips, which we'll get to later. But I think like this is going to be a really fun chess matchup, and I think that's all I'm going to be focusing on because
that it's like it's so interesting to me because, and I'm gonna go now. I want to go to the Eagles offense, Packers defense. So this run. So we have a really good run defense, and I actually think we are going to stop your run. But I almost find that terrifying because then we're leaving one-on-one matchups with Smith and Brown, and and this don't take this as a homer take for me. I truly believe Nixon's ability to cover. He had a really bad first half against the Steelers. That was like an atrocious. Like that's you throw on the tape. Like that was garbage. And he's had little moments here or there where like he stops like running with the wide receiver because he thinks the ball's being thrown out, and it's just simply not. Like the Cowboys game is seared in my head. And when he's really competitive, he's like really locked down. But again, AJ Brown and Smith can win against our corners, and they will win. So if we stop the run and then Jalen Hurts just has one-on-one coverage, like I'm a bit terrified. Now, here's what I'll say. Our safeties are sick. Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney are so good. And I really think that the Eagles are going to try to balance this. Like, you don't want to throw it deep against us. I promise you don't. But you can win a lot in the middle. And you really can't run the ball. So I really find it's going to be a similar chess piece. It's like, I think each team has matchup wins. It's like small ones across the field on both sides. But it's almost like stopping one feeds into the strength of the other. And it's going to be this like really like a chess match. Like there's going to be possessions where you're going to be like, wow, Jordan Love just diced us up for seven plays, 70 yards and a touchdown, like nothing. But then it's going to be the same thing on the other side. And there'll be a 3-and-out here. And then there might be a fumble from our team. And then we might pick it up. Like it's going to be like a very cagey game. Vegas thinks the Packers are going to win. If you ask the public, I think they would say the Eagles are going to win. Yeah. If you ask Packer fans, they think they're going to get killed. But those types of matchups are always when the Packers do pull it out. Like, I just remember a game real quick. Aaron Rodgers in 2023, 22. Thursday Night Football against the Cardinals. Every single metric, every single data point suggested that the Packers are going to lose this game. Everything. Devontae Adams was not there. Our defense was hurt. Cardinals were on fire. I know it's Kyler Murray. I know it's not Jalen Hurts, so just don't, right? But everyone thought we were going to lose that game. And we won. And I've seen this Packers team do the same thing. Now, the thing is, a lot of those types of games tend to be like quite adverse circumstances, and the Packers are relatively healthy. So it's like, it is what it is. But I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think the Packers are very good at home when they play a good team. Specifically, I think we play bad teams at home are bad. But and also sneaky take here. Jordan Love, when he plays bad against a team, next time he plays them, tends to really have this like revenge factor in his head. Secret. The Chiefs game 2 years ago, had a bad Chiefs game 3 years ago because Rodgers had COVID. Then when he became a starter and Mahomes came to Lambeau, killed him. There was another Steelers game 2 years ago when they played the Steelers. There was Jordan's Love first, like, oh wait, he's actually kind of good. We still lost that game though.
Yeah, it was 18-15, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But he looked kind of good. And then he ripped off that 18-2 run. Yeah. Came back, killing Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. There's one other matchup that I remember specifically. It wasn't Cowboys. I think it might have been Niners. No, I can't remember. Oh, Niners. Yeah. Niners. Oh. Lost them in the playoffs. Next year, killed them in the regular season. So Eagles had our number last year. And if you remember, the first time the Eagles saw Jordan Love, he was slaying that pill over in Philly. So I'm thinking maybe
I was at that game.
Maybe fourth time's a charm. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, he doesn't have back-to-back bad games. So
he doesn't. He learns from. Yeah, he learns from his bad games, and also I'm glad you brought up the issue of safeties. Eagles don't have a good safety tandem. That safety is those safeties are worth picking on if we have enough time. So I think what LaFleur needs I think what LaFleur needs to do is we need to have a lot of 12 personnel. Get like both Musgrave. I know Kraft ACL tear. Biggest loss this year. Biggest loss. But we still have Musgrave. We still have Fitzpatrick. Let's bring Max Protect, seven linemen.
We do that a lot already.
Yeah.
We'll send 3 guys on a route. Like, that's why you'll see like huge, like 15, 20-yard gains. And Love has time for the road because we'll just send 3 guys. Tucker, Kraft, Dobbs, and Golden. And it's usually Kraft and Dobbs catching them. So
yeah. So that's what we need to target. We need to have Watson on the outside, have one of those like long, deep routes, whether it's a corner or a post or just a go route, to try and drag the safeties with him and then attack that intermediate level, right? Make sure that if the linebackers are a little bit close, try and layer Watson, Dobbs, and Golden and probably Musgrave, either one. I think this might be a big Musgrave game. I think this is a big – it has to be because Tucker Kraft has been killing it. I think Musgrave is not going to fill his shoes 100%. But if we get 80% of Tucker Kraft in terms of Musgrave, that's still like 70 yards probably on 6 or 7 catches. We know LaFleur is creative enough in designing plays for tight ends, right? I distinctly remember that Cowboys game in the playoffs. Tucker Kraft is wide open on that Y leak. And it's just like, I remember watching every analyst dissecting that specific play. And they're like, this is what's called a Y leak. This is why it works. And this is why it's so effective. I think that LaFleur is going to create something similar to that. My biggest worry is that sometimes LaFleur gets in his head and he calls some of the worst play calls at the worst possible time. We don't need to see a 3rd and 2 jet sweep. We don't need to see 4th and goal from the 3, jet sweep.
So can I say something on that actually?
Go ahead.
Sorry, but you were cooking there. Finish.
No, that's all I wanted to say. I just need to say, like, LaFleur is creative, but sometimes he gets in his own head and he needs to trust Love, because that is when that is exactly what happened against the Steelers. In the second half, he trusted Jordan Love to execute the game plan, and that's how Jordan Love ended up with like 360 passing yards.
Yeah. So I listen to all the coaches' post-game conferences, including the coordinators, every single week. By the way, if you want to listen to a good one, our D coordinator, great press conference. Jeff Hafley, great. I mean, he's gonna be a head coach. Makes me sad because I don't ever want him to be a head coach selfishly.
Oh, he just murdered a child. He shouldn't be.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Coaching. Actually, if you watch that Cowboys game, our defense is bad. You shouldn't hire him.
Exactly.
Bad. Yeah, but so, and I think it's really important for fans if they took the time to listen to these press conferences, because Love and LaFleur does give nuance to a lot of the play calls and situations. And I think a lot of the times it's missed on the broadcast is you see the result of the play, but you don't hear about the process. And I'll give you a perfect example. Do you remember there was 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals, Jordan Love, it was 4th and 4 on the 40. And he threw a absolute bomb to Dobbs and missed him. And it was a turnover on downs. And people were like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
By the way, I actually have breaking. I was looking up the injury report. Didn't mean to interrupt on this one, but 4 changes have been made on the Packers Thursday injury report. Matthew Golden was downgraded from limited to did not participate. Malik Heath added to the report
I
with a
saw
hip
that.
injury.
Like all of our receivers are hurt.
I don't know, man.
These are the exact type of games and that type of spots. I'm telling you, man. It's NFL is truly a special league.
Mm-hmm.
You see all of our wide receivers are hurt. Half of them will be
Yeah.
good. And then you're going to be an Eagles fan frustrated that we're putting 25 or 27 on your head, like unintentionally.
I expect it to be like a very close game, and
Right.
I honestly think I hope that it's a very like the thing is, me as an Eagles fan and all that stuff. Of course, we want to kick your asses, but
Yeah.
I want to play you guys at your 100%.
Correct.
That's why I think but like with this game, it's very very enticing and a challenging matchup.
And it's in Lambeau too.
And at Lambeau, it's not, and the thing is, it's not at the link. Of course, I would have different feelings about it. But
if it was at the link, I think we're kind of cooked. I'm not gonna lie. I think
but
we have a chance because
but I think like even with Lambeau and I want to say ideal football conditions with the weather and all that stuff. I'm still pissed at YouTube TV for not that ESPN Plus and whatnot. But that's on a later subject. But
yeah, I'm gonna have to buy ESPN for this game. I'm a little sad about it.
Yeah, but I honestly think that I have to, and if I'm gonna be on this a bit of a spoiler, I actually have the Packers winning this game. I actually do because for all the success that the Eagles had running the ball, I don't think it's going to do the same thing, especially now that Cam Jurgens is out for another game and you're putting in Brett Toth, who's center. He does so well when Jalen Hurts did so well under center, but I don't know.
Your center's out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you can replicate the same play because this is not the Giants defense. This is a very, very good Packers defense.
Especially our front seven truly is like a special front seven. Like we are stick in the front seven.
When they move Micah Parsons inside and you have who do you have? Lucas Van Ness, you have LVN and Rashawn Gary on the outside edge, and then you have coming in Edgerrin Cooper.
Oh, the edge. I call him the edge. I call him the edge for that.
And then like Quay Walker might be a Pro Bowl linebacker this year, like legit. And then our D tackles, our young D tackles, Wyatt was like leading tackles and pressures before he got hurt. Like, I mean, again, Michael Parsons effect, but like truly a front seven that's menacing. It was specifically our corners that we were like nervous about because we like our safeties. And this is our corners that we were like a bit nervous about, and we were hoping we would trade for that. But yeah, so okay, nice take. But I want to finish my thought on the coaching. So fourth and 4, the deep ball. So LaFleur in a lot of these situations does trust Love because he gives him 2 calls, and it's usually a man look and a zone look, or a run look and a pass look, depending on the situation. And then Love reads the defense, and a lot of the times in these press conferences, they like Matt will be like, yeah, and Love does read it right. In that instance, he had 2 looks. He had a guy underneath that was open, but there's a trigger to throw to Dobbs if the safety comes down, and the safety came down on the snap. So then Love immediately was like, oh, we have an end zone shot. So he ripped it, and then he just missed him. But as a Packer fan, you're infuriated because if you just need 4 yards, why'd you call a deep shot? Well, they didn't call a deep shot. There was a go, I forget what they call it in a football term, but there's like a go ball solution or something where
a goal route?
No, not the route concept, but there's a concept where if you see the defense do something, an alert, that's what it is. I think it's an alert.
Oh yeah.
There's an alert where if you see the safety come down or something in the defense that triggers your go route to be the number 1 option, you do that because you're scoring a touchdown versus getting 4 yards because you're not guaranteed to score points if you convert it, right? So that's what happened, and then like Love just overthrew it. But in that instance, you're a fan like LaFleur. Why'd you even call that play? Well, the actual first read was an in route, which was open, which is sad. But there was the Dobbs. He was open. He just overthrew him. So in those examples, like I think a lot of the time, like the jet sweep stuff, like maybe he shouldn't just add that as the option for play calls. But a lot of the times in these critical third and fourth downs, he gives Love two options because he doesn't want to give him a play like a man beater and it's zone, and then the play's just screwed. So a lot of times he gives them two options, and then they read the defense. Or if they have like an absolute money play that they know they're going to hit, like 4th and 2 on the 20th, they know that the Eagles always run nickel, whatever the case may be. Like it's a very obvious situation, premier look. Yeah, then he gives them the one call. But I didn't know that until I listened to the press conferences for the last 4 years. And the defense is very similar concepts. So Halfley has the same thing with Hotel Quay. Hey, Quay, if you see Saquon XYZ, change our look or disguise it differently, right? And then they'll let McKinney know, and then McKinney will right? So there's a lot of nuance that I don't think, and I'm sure the Eagles have very similar practices where it's like, hey, Hurts, run this, whatever. And if you see McKinney disguise, like know that it might be right. Like there's a lot of nuance that we don't know as fans that they do. So I just want to give a little more credit to LaFleur and a little more onus on Love, like because there will be plays that LaFleur calls, and then Love just misses. And there are a lot of misses, and he doesn't miss a ton, but like they're just misses, and then people are like, Matt, why'd you even do that?
Yeah,
it's like, well, Love does have the authority to either change the call or just make it better, or our receivers drop it. So I just wanted to be a little more. I do think where he does get fair criticism is when he's aggressive and when he's not, and I think he tends to be more aggressive than I think most fans are comfortable with this year. Like we lost that Panthers game because he was very aggressive.
I was going to say,
me as a fan, like I'm a contrarian and I love the aggression because I love the process. Like I think he's pretty consistent with it, but a lot of fans aren't very comfortable with that, and then we lose games like the Browns game and the Panthers game because of it. So there's like it's like a little Lionsy, except the Lions are actually good at converting these. So yeah. Anyways, I know I rambled a bit, but I wanted to share that to your listeners because I think that's missed. These press conferences you can learn a ton, and they go through in nuance like. Yeah, we thought we had a premier look, and we had to call a timeout because it was the worst look into this. Because people were like, why did LaFleur call a timeout in the third quarter? Like, we need that. Oh, because it was going to result into a catastrophic turnover-worthy result, and LaFleur was like, no, this game's too close. We can't do that. But you don't hear that. And then at that point, yeah, you can mad at LaFleur not calling the timeout for maybe just calling a bad play for the look that they were getting presented with. So there's nuance there, Like, that's just my take. And I'm just a sicko. So I listen to all these press conferences because I just want to hear them tell me if they messed up or not. And Matt will say a lot of times, like, yeah, that's on me for that's just a bad look. The jet sweep stuff, he gets a lot of flack on the jet sweep stuff. And you guys, I know you don't like him, so just bear with me. But I apologize. So
yeah, I mean, he did the same thing with the 4th and 8 call against the Panthers, right? At the press conference, he was like, "Yeah, this is just a bad call. It was my call." And he owned up to it. I was like, okay,
that one, yeah, and that one was bad. I think I don't remember what his reasoning was, but that drive, it was a 4-down drive to start, no matter what, and we got backed up on the second down, like it was 2nd and like 8 or something, and we got backed up more, either through a foul or through a bad play. Because he called that drive assuming he was going to be like 4th and 3rd, 4th and 4th. But then it was 4th and 8. So then he's now trying to call us 4th and long. And in the game where it's still close, like also his kicker's hurt, so he wasn't really trying to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's earned his 7-year tenure here for sure. Or
yeah.
But like it still can be a little annoying when you're like, bro, like
yeah. Like one of the things that I consistently see as a problem year after year is offensive pre-snap penalties. I just saw this.
The worst. The absolute
worst. Packers,
get a holding call.
So 2 penalties make up half of all penalties called against the Packers. 2 types. Offensive holding, false start.
The false start's
I'm like, okay, I understand that these are just a natural existence or part of the game. Sometimes it just happens, whether you have referees who are more conservative or who are more free-flowing and progressive. But this is a consistent issue that I don't know how it needs to be resolved. It has to be resolved in training. It has to be resolved in practice. Someone has to come in and say, like, hey, we cannot have this anymore because so many of our drives are killed because of it.
Yeah, I think the Eagles aren't you guys really good at not having pre-snap penalties? It's like it's kind of like very Chiefs of you guys. I know you guys beat them, but like these false starts on offense like truly kill me.
Yeah.
Because it's like you know the cadence, especially when it's at home. The home ones, I'm like, what are we doing? They're silent out there. They're literally not speaking for you.
Yeah.
So the holding ones, like those ones, I'm kind of like, they are drive killers, but if a guy's playing hard, like,
yeah,
it's gonna happen.
And Rakshak always says this, but there are three things that kill offensive drives: sacks, penalties, and turnovers. And we are one of the worst teams in penalties accrued against the offense. That's the unfortunate part, because if we can learn how to limit that.
Yeah, last week we did that.
Yeah.
Can turn over every time we snap the ball on second down.
Yeah, I think, and we'll get into this in a little bit when we break down when we recap the Packers and Panthers, but I remember there was like a sequence of 6 drives where it was where we didn't punt. It was like turnover on downs, fumble, turnover on downs, missed field goal, turnover. It's like we didn't even punt.
Like I can't, when I see those stat lines, I tell the defense, I'm sorry, the defense. We failed. They failed you. Mm-hmm. I don't care that Rico Dowdle ran for 134 yards. They had 220 yards total, and what was it? 16 points. We missed a field goal, and we had like 10 penalties. We didn't punt, and we scored 10 points.
Yeah,
and like one of these drives, we had a pick, and we started on the mid 50. Like that's your classic like bad team, good defense trying to carry. Except we have a great offense, and they just didn't do their job that day, and like Love wasn't hurt, right? Like we had our receivers, our offensive line was there, right? Like our defense was playing really well. Yeah, we missed a field goal. McManus is hurt, but like we couldn't score another one more touchdown. That's I call those a Love LaFleur special. We will lose like 2 or 3 of those games a year.
Yeah.
Again, I love them both. I love both of them both, but we will just lose games like that where we just need you guys to be competent. Yeah. Because they will also win us games.
Yeah.
Like that Cowboys game, that tie, they won us that tie.
Yeah. That
they won
Lions Thanksgiving 3 years ago.
I was there.
Oh,
I was at that game. So that was the game where people thought the Packers were dunzo. Like we weren't good. It was the Lions were on a heater. The Lions were off a bye week. It was a national TV game. And the first play, 50-yard bomb to Watson. Having nachos in hand. I saw the Rashawn Gary strip sack. Oh, that was beautiful. Dude, and by the way, Ford Field's good stadium. For how old it is, it's not very old, but good stadium. Yeah. But I was there, man. It was electric.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, Jordan, like that. I watched that game. I was like, okay, we're good. We got it, guys.
Okay. Yeah. I think at that point, everyone was like, all right, this is the Lions division now. The Packers are done. It's going to be the 80s all over again. They fucked up with the Love and LaFleur. It's the Lions show. But
that was a masterful play call game. Like that was a masterful play call game. Like every play he called was nails.
Yeah.
Man. So.
All right, we'll have one more thing, and then we'll finish off with game predictions. One more question for you. Jalen Hurts. He's a very divisive quarterback. Mm-hmm. Eagles fans will have him. I've heard some Eagles fans. I know one, Rakshak, who is like, he's the second greatest quarterback in the entire league. And then the rest of the NFL is like, he's not even in the top 10. And maybe he's in the top 10.
I love this conversation. I love this conversation.
Let's have your take because I have my take and Richard has his take.
And don't tell me. Okay, so don't tell me your take. So what's the question? How good do I think he is in relative?
How good do you think he is relative to quarterbacks, relative to the team, in the league? Yeah,
I think there's two things to this.
Yeah,
I think he has earned the respect and the right to only have one equal right now. And that's the obvious one, Mahomes. Like,
okay.
sorry. Actually, let me reframe my. Let me
reframe. You can
bring it back.
Do your word check, spell check, Grammarly.com.
Yeah. Mahomes is tier 0, tier -1, tier no one's touching him. Lamar is my favorite player in the NFL. Lamar ain't touching him. Josh Allen is sick. Josh Allen ain't touching Mahomes. Mahomes got beat like to a pulp against the Eagles. They ain't touching him. Like, he's here, and no one's gonna get there right now. Okay, so just throw that away. Now, I think there are two other quarterbacks that can. I think Jalen Hurts has earned the right to be in that class of. If you are being that, okay, how do I want to say this? Clearly,
by all means.
Clearly, I think he should be spoken of as a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. Is what I think.
A top what?
4.
Top 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Top 4. I think he should be spoken. That. I think he deserves the right to be in that conversation. Because for example, Lamar is my favorite player in the NFL. Lamar's whole thing is he is like truly laughably dominant in the regular, like laughably dominant. Mm-hmm. Like every time I look at his pass rating, it's 140 every time. Yeah. I'm just like, what the hell is that? He actually has the NFL record in pass rating.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
over Aaron Rodgers,
which was and that was then it was a Mahomes thing, and now it's a Lamar thing by like 10 points. Mm-hmm. He's actually always had a better pass rating than Josh Allen, ironically. Yeah. But when he plays like the truly biggest games, like truly biggest, which is against Mahomes and Allen as another equal, he doesn't perform as well. Against Josh Allen, it's not as bad. Against Mahomes, it's bad. Against Josh Allen, it's like mid. Okay, but like that's his only knock. It's not that he can't throw. People that was gone like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's his knock. Jalen Hurts is like the opposite. Like his regular season stats don't matter because he operates the team and offense and leads, and it impacts actual winning. Like, you guys don't beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead without Jalen Hurts. I don't care. There's not a single other quarterback that could take that Eagles team to win that game. Truly.
Really?
Like, I don't. Dude, did you watch that Chiefs Eagles game? That
thing was ugly. It was an ugly game, but
it was a gross game. It's my same take with Mahomes. Like, when people were saying that the Chiefs were a bad 15-2 team, I was like, there's not another quarterback that could take that Chiefs team to 15-2 the way that it looked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, in the same issue, like, so maybe I prefer my statement. There's like 3 other quarterbacks that maybe could have had that same ugly result with Eagles Chiefs, but you have to understand there's more than just like the actual game itself. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't take a bunch of sacks. He's constantly moving him forward. When he is asked to throw the ball, he can do it. And that's the other thing. When he's asked to do it, he does it every single time. Like, I feel like the last time I saw him throw 3 picks was against us in the Brazil game 2 years ago. Like, right? And that's been it. And he's asked to do a lot. And also, very underrated. He's asked to do the tush push. That's not a fun thing to do, I'd imagine. Especially if you're a quarterback with a beautiful face that he does. I mean, good looking lad. Right? But like, so there's so much things that aren't just like how talented you are. Like, people would say Justin Herbert's more talented than Hurts. I don't care. I literally don't care. Justin Herbert hasn't done anything. People would say, Burrow's better. He might be, but he's hurt all the time. Right? Yeah. Like, Jaden Daniels is going to be more talented. Is he? I don't know. All I see him do is get hurt and run around and still get hurt. And he got killed by the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these things that we say about other quarterbacks, and I'm not even like a Hurts guy, by the way. I'm passionate about the thought exercise of what it means to be a good quarterback in the NFL. And I think a lot of people think the shiny Herbert, the shiny Allen and Lamar to an extent, but Mahomes was only shiny for like 3 years, and he was winning Super Bowls ugly. He was managing the game, and he wasn't turning the ball over, and he was doing what his team asked him to do. That's all Jalen Hurts did. He just doesn't have the shininess. We didn't have the shininess, right? But then at the biggest in games when it matters, it's big time, man. So my take is, realistically, in my heart of hearts, like gun in my head, I would definitely. Sorry, that was bad. In my heart of hearts, if you were to ask me how to rank quarterbacks, Mahomes 1, and begrudgingly Allen 2, because I'm a Lamar guy. So
I can see that.
Because I want to put Lamar over Allen, but he has not beat him in when it's mattered. And Allen also has an absolute wonderful wife. I mean, shout out to Josh Allen and his wife. So we got Lamar. And then number 4, I think I'd put Hurts. Like, I think I would. If I'm not a Packer homer. Like, honestly, I want to put Love, but he hasn't earned the right to be there. Right? But like, I put him there. And then Burrow I'd put at 5. And then and then 6 I'd probably put Stafford.
Yeah.
And then
I would I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you on that one.
Yeah.
If I would have put Jalen Hurts, I would say he's a top 5 quarterback. I still don't. I think like putting him in the top 10 is okay, but I say he's a top 5 at best, because in that one, either 3 or 4, I would put Stafford over Hurts in my point of view. Because here's the thing.
That is fine.
Here's my reason
so
being.
Good.
Because Stafford, when like not only for his pedigree and his experience, dude, he is an excellent thrower. Jalen Hurts can throw the deep ball when he can need it to, but sometimes it can be off target. Stafford is the more of the accurate version than Jalen Hurts. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack from Eagles fans, but I'm just saying from what I see and what others see, Stafford is more accurate of a passer than Hurts. And the only thing Hurts has over Stafford is his ability to run and throw when needed to. Yeah. And he can extend plays. Stafford just bullet passes to Puka Nacua or wherever he's open.
I mean, and Anant can speak to this. Packers fans, we knew how good he was forever. The rest of the NFL didn't, clearly.
Yeah.
But like we would beat them when Rodgers would win like 35-30.
Yeah.
And he was sick. And then when he moved to the Rams, all the NFC North was like, okay, you guys are gonna finally see how good this guy is. Like he was,
because he finally has a support staff.
Yeah, exactly. Like Megatron would run numbers against us.
Oh,
yeah. So Burrow 5, Stafford 6, and then like after that, like I would probably put, as a homer, I'd put Love there. But also I could see a Daniels, I could see a Baker, there's like that tier of quarterback where it's fluid, right? It's like pick who you want. Do you want the proven the dude who's been doing it for a long time? Do you want the talent? Do you want the gritty game winner, the gamer, right? As they always say it, like the white quarterbacks that win, they're gamers, right? Like Baker's a gamer, yeah. But Baker is good at football, though. I actually do. I'm a Baker fan. But yeah, so
I still have a grudge against Baker Mayfield, man.
I'm sure you do as a tech guy. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, were you at that game?
I was.
Baker game?
Oh no, I was. I graduated back then, but I did see Baker as a walk on. I was very upset that we didn't give him a scholarship, but then he decides to go to OU, which is a shitty school in my point of view. Because Norman, I don't know what the fuck is a Norman other than that shit school and a garbage can. But I mean that we could spot out theories, but I mean Mayfield. I'll give credit where credit's due. Mayfield is a hell of a quarterback. He actually is in a system where they actually support him and pay him. I'm looking at you, Cleveland.
He is the actual best deal in the NFL, I think. At $30 million, bro. If you're not a rookie, like if you're not Drake May, he is the best deal in it.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? Thank God he escaped the factory of sadness that has reopened.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like. Oh man, I'm very happy for him. He seems so happy too. I watched some of the Bucks content. Like he dressed up as like a fake fan. One of the videos.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, like, and then and all of them were like, "Yeah, Baker's the truth." And I'm like, "How cool is that to hear?" I know he's a first round pick at high pedigree. Like I know he doesn't like he didn't come from the Brock Purdy levels of that bad, but like he still was down. People were doubting him. People were like, "Oh, his character, whatever, makes bad decisions," and then like plays good football, and you're like, "Oh, actually, it's Moxie."
He can talk. I've know this for sure. He can talk up, but he can back his shit up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One of my favorite moments when I was watching the Monday Night Football game between the Texans and the Bucks. He goes for the first down, then of course ex-Eagle, now Bears safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson levels him. Then Baker stands up and he's like talking his shit. I'm like, damn, let's get it.
He definitely has a 100% approval rating. Honestly, there are quarterbacks like everyone loves them. Like JG on the Giants, Jared Goff on the Lions. I think one of the Amon-Ra on his podcast, he'll bring in all these Lions players in. And they'll ask him about him, and then they'll go, "Oh yeah, JJ's our guy. Like yeah, dog. Like yeah, we don't want to ride with nobody else." Like they sound like they truly believe in him, and like they win games because of it.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of Amon-Ra,
how much do you like watching Amon-Ra?
I love that. Oh, like dude, and I gotta ask you, Landry. Do you know how much I love watching Amon-Ra St. Brown run routes?
So Amon-Ra, I have him in 2 dynasty leagues. And I think he is also like a funny person. I know that sounds so corny and weird, but like he's like a very cocky, like he's very cocky.
Yeah.
But man, he's a dog. If you want a wide receiver that can block and run routes, and I mean routes, like I'm talking like nice feet.
That's how much I love watching.
Like
I used to play
one drop
receiver,
and everyone knows the drop too. Everyone saw the drop. That's what I mean. Like, dude is so good.
And and me being like a former wide receiver in middle school for one time, but like knowing how much how route running concepts and like catching is good. Amon-Ra, like I just love watching him run those routes, and that's like every game I'm like, do you know how much I love watching that? Because like because watching wide receivers do that kind of ability and all that, that's just rare. And I think, and you know what, crazy take and beat the dome moment. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know if he's already done it, but I think he breaks Megatron's record of receiving yards, catches, and or receiving yards.
For the Lions.
For the Lions in Lions history, he's gonna replace Megatron.
Like lifetime career.
Lifetime career.
Wow.
But Megatron didn't play a long time. He played like what 8-9 years.
Yeah. And I think like St. Brown can easily do that.
I mean, his catches, he'll definitely break his catches record. For sure. With the 17 games, he for sure will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might. I mean, as long as he's got Jared Goff or a good quarterback, he might. Yeah, he's great. There's the NFC. I have a ton of respect for some of the players in the NFC North. He's one of them.
NFC North is a bloodbath, and so is the West. The East, NFC East is like
lives rent free in my head and how terrifying he is to play against.
Yeah.
Anyways,
alrighty.
I do got to drop, guys. But this is fun. My prediction for the game, I'm assuming.
Yeah. We'll just do that.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Like as a fan, I don't really want to jinx this, but for the content, for the content, I think the Packers sneaky win. I think what's going to happen is the Packers will come out fast, first quarter. Eagles will 3-and-out. And then the game will start to go. Start to happen. Eagles come back late, fourth quarter. 3 minutes left. Tush push it in. Or like some crazy A.J. Brown catch. And then Jordan Love marched them down the field. And then we are pissing our pants on the field goal because our kicker's injured, but he was like 2 for 2 earlier that day. And then we score a cage. We win on a cage affair. Packers cover. No. Eagles cover. Packers win.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I mean it's the line's 2.5, so it's like it'll be like it's
1 point, like 31-30 or something like that.
That's what I think is happening. But if I was on this podcast, I'd definitely be mushing this shit out of Packers. I'd be saying like, yeah, dude, Hurt's gonna go crazy. He's gonna back up my take on him being a top 4 quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like Saquon about to to
180
hit
yards.
Micah. Yeah. But that's my take. Now, if it was at the link, way different.
Yeah.
I think we lose that game at the link. Like honestly, even if we played well, I think we lose that game at the link.
So, that's my worry for the playoffs.
Which is why this game's actually sneaky critical.
It is very important.
Not only do we need to win the division that has like every team has 5 wins, or a lot of wins at least. We need that 1 seed is going to be so hard for us to get. So we need to have advantage over the other teams. And the Eagles are going to be one of those teams. So I think the Bucs will actually get the 1 seed because their schedule's just cakes. But Eagles have the number 1. They have the division winner schedule, and then there's the Packers and the Lions, and it's just like Jesus. And the Panthers might be the 7 seed. Like, there's always a team that we think goes worst to first, and that might be them as a wild card. So,
yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much again, Landry, for coming on to the show. We really appreciate this. We're definitely going to reach out next time whenever we reach out, meet in the playoffs. So I'll reach out back to you.
We've had Landry's take and the Packers take. Let's move on to the Eagles. What do you got for us? Let's get started.
So, before I do this, I would like to leave it to my guests. I want to hear from Asif and Pete about this game, what the Eagles can do to win this game, and the move, and other than the trades that we've made, what I would like to hear from my respective Eagles brethren.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of matchups you guys are interested in watching as well, both from the offensive and defensive perspective. What excites you the most about this game? And then finally, we'll end off in final game predictions.
Pete, you take the reins.
No, go ahead.
All right. I made an episode earlier about this matchup too. Really, the thing that I'm looking at the most is whether or not the Eagles can get the ground game going in this game. If you could win first down against the Packers, it's lights out. And my hot take in this game is if the Packers lose this game, Super Bowl aspirations are done. This is a must win for the Packers in terms of their Super Bowl hopes. You can't lose this game at home. Coming off the Carolina game, you cannot lose this game, because if you do, the stretch of games you have afterwards, it's brutal. Like you said, what was it, 5 of the 6 division games you have left?
Yeah,
it is not an easy stretch of football that you guys are going to have to play after this Philadelphia Eagles game. And Philadelphia right now is playing with house money. Atop of the conference, we have tiebreakers against the Rams. You got tiebreakers against the Bucs. We already have the division lead, so we're going to get a home playoff game at the very least. This is a must-win. And if the Packers lose on first down, that means the Eagles are getting the ground game going. And if the ground game is going, the Packers don't win football games. All the games that they've either lost or tied this year, every single one of those teams has gotten it going on the ground. So can this Eagles offensive line, can Saquon Barkley, can they control the pace of the game? If they do that, I got the Eagles winning in a blowout, 28-17. That's going to be my final score prediction. We're going to talk about that later. But I think this is a game where if you don't win first down, if you're Green Bay, you are not. You don't have any shot in this game. And so that's my key thing, especially if it's a cold game. If it becomes a low of 27, that is not a game that's suited, I think, for the Packers' skill set. I think the Packers, while they have a running game and Matt LaFleur's identity is to run the football, the one thing they really want to do is have Jordan Love back there dancing, holding the ball loose and just fling it and chuck it down the field. That's what they want him to do. That's what they love to do. They did it with Favre. They did it with Rodgers. They want to do it with Love, but they're not a dome team. They're an outside team. It's why their best playoff runs always come on the road, because you have to go into a dome. You got to go to a less cold weather city. When they're at home, in the playoffs in cold weather games, it's just not suited for their skill set. And as great of an acquisition as Micah Parsons is, the one thing that Jerry Jones is right about, that guy, as excellent as he is, because he's a generational talent, he cannot stop the run. He is not good in run defense. If you could get out on the edge, if you could get him and attack him with the run game, and Saquon Barkley hits his head on a goalpost, it's lights out, in my opinion, for this game. So, win first down. If you're the Eagles, you're winning this ball game. And if the Packers lose, I don't think they have any shot of winning a Super Bowl this year.
I think also, yeah, you hit the nail on the head about running on first down, right? I think that's important. If you don't get that done, it will become more of a passing game. The defensive coordinator of the Packers, pretty good. He's been pretty solid against Saquon. And our run defense hasn't been the best till we played the Giants, right? So it all depends on how who's starting. Is Dickerson starting this week?
I think starting and Toth is starting, I think.
Yeah, Toth is starting, not Dick. Toth is starting.
Jurgens is out. Jurgens is out this game.
Jurgens is out. Okay. And AJ starting too?
AJ will be available for this game.
Okay. So they will try to run it. I think it's gonna be a battle between Love and Hurt. Because you gotta count for their receivers. They got Christian Watson.
They are all questionable.
They're questionable?
The only wide receiver on the entirety of the Packers roster who is not listed as questionable is Romeo Doubs.
Okay. Okay. And
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Also out, right?
Say again?
Tucker Kraft?
He's
out for the year. No, he's out for the season. ACL.
Just a question for Anat. Does Matt LaFleur engage in like gamesmanship like that where he puts guys that are questionable and they end up playing? Is that something that he does frequently?
Somewhat. He's not as extreme as Kyle Shanahan, but he does do a little bit. But we look at the individual practice reports as well. Matthew Golden has not been looking good. He had a shoulder injury first practice, limited participation second practice, did not participate the last practice. And when you look at I just checked the injury report here. It does not bode well for the Packers. This is what it is for Thursday at least. Aaron Banks, limited participation. We had 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 players on our injury report.
Dang.
You guys had 8. So it does not bode well in terms of the injury status. But the one good thing that I see, one silver lining I see for this game is that our front seven is, knock on wood, our front seven is not affected, which I think is the key to stopping your rushing attempt. What I am really afraid of are what Landry was mentioning before during our talk is the one-on-one matchups between AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and our corners. Our safeties are excellent. They're top 3 safeties in the league, so it's going to be hard to throw deep and over the top. But I think where you guys are going to find success is in the intermediate. This is what Landry was mentioning as well. Right outside of our behind our linebackers, and then if you have like one-on-one reps in man coverage between AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, I think that is where you guys target if you guys have enough time. Now, here's the thing, right? You mentioned winning on first down. That is also what the Packers need to do, right? I think they're going to be good at stopping the run. I think we have the players. Devontae Wyatt coming back is a huge boon because he is one of the best D tackles in the game right now in terms of his playing. He's not as good as Jalen Carter because Jalen Carter is like the best right now, probably behind Snacks. We'll see. But Devontae Wyatt has been playing, lights out, especially against run defense. So losing Kenny Clark, he was a really good defensive player, but we have groomed Devontae Wyatt for that specific reason. We have some decent depth. Colby Wooden has been making plays as well. So when you look at it from a run defense standpoint, the interior defensive line has been playing really well. the outside pass rushes. So what really happens is Micah Parsons rotates inside, and that allows Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, who are much better edge setters, especially Rashawn Gary. He's probably the best edge setter that we have, to make sure that the run is contained on the outside. And we have two excellent linebackers, sideline to sideline, great speed in terms of Edge Cooper and Quay Walker. They have a nose for the football. They're really good at snuffing out potential like outside zone runs and outside stretch plays. And our safety, Evan Williams, is also really good in that respect. Kind of like how Cooper DeJean is as a box safety role. He's excellent at snuffing out like backfield plays that are happening, whether it's a run or like a swing pass or something like that. He's really good at attacking that. Same thing with Evan Williams. So I think from different perspectives, we do have an advantage in the front, like front four, front five. But if you guys can win one-on-one matchups, which I think you guys will, because AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, there are only like 5 corners who can actually cover them on a play-by-play basis.
Yeah.
Both of them, right? Because both of them are top 10 receivers in their own right. Devontae Smith is a top 10 receiver in his own right. I don't care what other people say. I'm saying this as a non-Eagles fan. He is a top 10 receiver. So when you have the advantage of that, it is hard to scheme a scenario to reduce their impact while also reducing Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts' rushing impact. So I think one or the other is going to have to budge, and I think that's going to be the secondary. That is exactly what the Cowboys did. That is exactly what the Cowboys targeted. They targeted the intermediate level. They let George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb run roughshod all over Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, and they exploited that. Now, the Cowboys defense was shit, which is why we were able to exploit it as well. But if the Eagles do that, you're right. It's not going to be a close game because I don't think the Eagles are going to be that undisciplined as a Packers defense.
I think
so.
Yeah, and just adding on to that, I think it's more because of like the Vic Fangio mentality. He is I would say he's more experienced and more disciplined, and the fact that not only because of the offseason trades, Nolan Smith is coming back to play. Brandon Graham might be suiting up for this game, and now with the Jalen Phillips acquisition, you can finally have Jahad Campbell move back to linebacker, which I think he should be at. And have a little bit more snaps. So you could see the Eagles go more in that 3-4 or 4-3 mode. And also and yes, the Michael Carter, Jair Alexander, just adding more bodies towards the backups, like behind Ringo and Cooper DeJean. And also with Quinn and also to talk about your Packers offense versus Eagles defense. If I had a matchup, it'd be Quinyon Mitchell. Will be shadowing Romeo Doubs the entire time, and I think like and if you had tried to put Christian Watson on the inside or who else of your league of wide receiver twos you have, I would say that Cooper DeJean will have that slot, and Keely Ringo. I think maybe you could see Reed Blankenship and or Andrew Makuba coming to bring in for safety help. Maybe you give like a disguise cover 2 or nickel, or you play Tampa 2 in that case. But yeah, these are like some outcomes I can see from there.
Yeah, 100%. It's really a game that's going to come down to whether or not Jordan Love goes and plays like nuclear Jordan Love, where he can look like the greatest quarterback in the league, or he gives you poor decision Jordan Love, where you look at the throws and you're like, dude, what were you doing? What were you seeing? I think against Vic Fangio, I lean my money towards Vic Fangio and trying to fool a young quarterback. Yeah. And I think just, again, coming off a bye, I think it's really tough to play Philadelphia off a bye. I think it's really tough to come off a game like Carolina where, you came off a game where it's just like really deflating in a sense where you lost it was a game that was close scoring, but like it felt like they were getting punched in the mouth a little bit. Yeah. Like it felt like it should have been worse than what it was, right? And so it's going to test the fortitude of the Packers. Like, can they come out and play up to the level that they're capable of, and it's really going to test their mental toughness against a team like Philadelphia, who, if you just give them a little bit of blood in the water, they know how to front run better than anybody in the league, and it becomes a snowball effect. And that snowball effect is not even the Chiefs can stop that snowball effect when it comes to Philadelphia, just because of the immense talent that's there. So, and we talked about it before, that one-on-one matchup that we talk about on the outside. Jeff Hafley's defense, it's primarily a cover one scheme, right? Single high. They would rather play man than play zone. And out of anybody in the NFL, Jalen Hurts is as good as anybody throwing against man, throwing against the blitzes, and just being able to pick one-on-one matchups and say, yeah, I'm going to trust Avante to beat you here. I'll trust AJ to beat you here. And I'll trust Dallas Goedert to beat you here as well. Let's not forget that Dallas Goedert was also one of the key reasons why we won that playoff game. He had that, that little flat run that he took it to the house just based on his physicality, right? So, while it is a top 5 defense in Green Bay, I don't think they've played an offense that's quite as skilled as Philadelphia, especially if they're hitting on all cylinders. But the question is for Philadelphia, can they hit on all cylinders in this game, right? So the Packers have a unique matchup with this team. Like you said, their front seven is as good as anybody in the league, if not the best, top to bottom in the league.
Okay, I'm on the call.
And they have enough guys to be able to match up with the offensive linemen and have athleticism to be able to run with some of these guys, right? So I'm going to be really, really excited to see just exactly how Philadelphia comes out on their first drive, to see if they come out with the mentality of, hey, we're going to punch you in the mouth and then throw it on you, or they're going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to chuck it all over you, deflate you, and then beat you in the end with running the ball. So that's kind of where my mindset is at. Pete, I don't know if there's anything else that you got to add.
I think you guys said it all right? It really depends. If the Eagles come out and punch the Packers in the mouth, won't just be a statement game for this Monday night. It would be a statement game for the year. That means they have the right attitude to go back into the playoffs and go for another run. Now, if they don't do that and they look kind of 23-esque, which is a lot of people's fear about this year, then you have questions about the Eagles. But if the Packers somehow find a way to win this, then 27 year 27 is y'all year, right?
It'll be a big game. If they win this game, it's a big game for them.
Oh yeah,
big win for them.
Brett Favre did it. Aaron Rodgers. Now,
I'm so glad you brought that up, Pete.
So that's like, I hope that's gonna work. So, I mean, I'll kind of pick the Packers to go to this. If we don't make it to the Super Bowl, that's kind of like my dark horse team that could make it.
Don't put that bad juju in the air, Pete. Don't put that bad juju in the air, man. Don't do it.
But I think it's not gonna happen. So
there you go.
We're gonna rush with Saquon and
Tank
Bixby. So I think both of them are gonna have I don't know, about over 75 yards each.
Wow.
So
if you do that, they're winning the game. They do that, they're winning the game.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And Jalen will have like 50 yards and throw for 150 and still win this game. So I don't think it'll be as drastic. The Packers will put up a fight. I will say like 27-20 or something like that.
You're also playing in Green Bay too, so there is that. If this was the link, I don't think the Packers have a shot. But I think because we're playing in Green Bay, we have the crowd with us. It's going to be an electric atmosphere.
Yeah, man. Monday night games will be great. And that's why they're favored that's why they're favored at home, right? Like I think the line I saw on FanDuel was 1.5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're still favored at home, but it started at 2.5 and it went down to 1.5. So again, I think they're leaning more towards Philly, but the injuries, like you said, the injuries I think play a role in this as well. And quite frankly, the coaching matchup, it's not just LaFleur versus Sirianni, but it's LaFleur versus Vic Fangio in the scheme.
That is the one.
And we talked, I think you mentioned it before, Anath, when you said like LaFleur, when he's rolling. But like this is just my last little critique. Every critique I have about the Shanahan, McVay's, McConnell, LaFleur, Kubiak's, When they're on time and on schedule, their offense is a machine like no other. But one little hiccup where you have to deviate from the plan, sometimes it causes them to go out of sorts. And can LaFleur offset that? I think he offsets it a little bit better, more so than a Kyle Shanahan and a Kevin O'Connell and stuff like that. I think him and McVay do a better job of pivoting when something's not working. But can they do that? And Vic Fangio's as good of a guy against that scheme as anybody in the NFL. So I think it's going to be a little bit more of a coaching matchup, just as much as it is just a player and personnel matchup for sure.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is also one of my biggest fears this game is LaFleur not so LaFleur is very creative, especially when it comes to finding plays and creating schemes to get his guys open. Excellent at that. He also gives, so what Landry was saying actually, so Landry, the Packers fan that we had talked to before, he actually listens to all the Packers press conferences right after, and he was mentioning that LaFleur actually gives Love two options in very like clutch situations, like 3rd and 4th down. Most of the times, Love is on point and he completes, and that's why we keep the drives going, right? Sometimes when Love does make those mistakes, it's because Love did not adjust correctly, whether that's reading the wrong person or just slightly mistiming the ball. That's again a young QB. This is only his 3rd full-time season playing in the NFL. So he does have that, a little bit of maturity to address a little bit. But what really worries me about LaFleur is, like you mentioned, when things go wrong and he has to adjust, it's also in terms of clutch situations on like 2nd or 3rd down, where 1st down, let's say we run, we lose 2 yards. You don't want to run again, or you don't want to do a short pass. You want to try and get like a chunk play, right? So at least like 7, 8, 9 yards, so you can make it a 3rd and convertible. But we don't do that against the Panthers. Our average 3rd down to go distance was like 8 yards. Why is that? Because we did not have a successful 1st and 2nd down. And that also goes back to your point of winning on 1st down. That's the same thing that we have to do as well. If we don't win on 2nd down or 1st down and make it a manageable 3rd down, LaFleur has to be extra creative. And sometimes that creativity goes in the wrong direction, where he tries to out-scheme the defense by, throwing in a jet sweep, right, on 3rd down, or an end around, just to try and get, because he's assuming that the defense is going to, play at the sticks and suffocate the offense and make sure that a short conversion is not possible. So he goes behind the line of scrimmage. But the problem is, because the defense knows that that's going to happen, they're acutely aware of that. So you have to, obviously, I'm not smart enough to be in that position. Otherwise I would be, but I'm not. So in that scenario, you then have to adjust and say, like, okay, if that's the case, then we can't really run end arounds or those type of behind the line of scrimmage plays. We have to try and attack the defense where they're not there. That, I think, is the inconsistent step that we've seen week in, week out, that I also see sometimes from the Eagles as well, where you're just not relying on your star talent to generate, which we should be. And I think that is going to be the biggest thing in this game, is both offensive coordinators have that tendency of focusing too much on out scheming on a play-by-play basis rather than how to structure a drive properly.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
So, alrighty. Any final thoughts before, I guess we all said our final game predictions. I think, Asif, you said 28-17 or 28-20.
Yeah, I have 28-17. I just think that Philadelphia is going to win this matchup with 1st down. I think if they come out and if you're going to get 4 or 5 yards of carry here, which I think is going to happen, I think it's just going to be a little bit of a tougher day for the Packers. Coming off that game against Carolina and seeing the trends that you saw in the losses and the tie against Dallas, I think that's something that they can exploit. And even their victories, they played Detroit week 1, but that's week 1. that's one of those games you kind of just chuck away. But the teams that they've beaten is Washington, Cincinnati, Arizona, and Pittsburgh. Not necessarily teams that have the greatest running attack per se. I think Philadelphia found something in that Giants game, albeit against the Giants, something that can work from here on, and getting a little bit of that dual threat running attack going. And plus you get AJ Brown back, who I think got the message in that Giants game, like, hey, I think you kind of have to buy in a little bit more. Let's just see how it goes now, because now the trade deadline's behind them. They didn't trade AJ Brown. Now he has to lock in for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think when everybody's on the same page and it's tush comes to push or push comes to shove, the Philadelphia lock in.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a wrong place, wrong time, I think, for the Packers in this game. That's just what I'm saying. So 28-17 is my score.
Okay. Pete?
I'm gonna stand with 27-20. I think it'll be a close game. And the Packers might try to pull away at first, but the Eagles come back and finish the game. So that's why I said 27-20.
Okay. Black check?
I actually have this to be a very close game. I think I have this 27-21. Eagles will squeeze out a win, but it's just going to be and I think
You said Packers earlier.
I thought the
versus
Packers
Landry.
I thought the Packers could pull it off because I think they do have the talent, and if the Eagles have one of those down games, that could happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in Jalen Hurts, who can close out games at when it matters the most. This is a possible. This is going to be a game that could decide decide a top seed for the NFC, and this is where Jalen Hurts works best at. Rain, sleet, sleet or snow. Eagles are ready to go.
There you go.
Yeah, man. And honestly, this is the game you got to win. Between them and Detroit, I think this is the more important game to win.
And you know what? And beat the dome moment right here. I think the Eagles are going to open up the first play. And I think it'd be really funny if they could run the push for one drive every single time, in spite of the team of this coward franchise known as the Green Bay shit.
Hey, I don't think they need to do that.
I'm joking. I know. I'm just by. No, I'm like, it caught me like Silky Johnson from a Dave Chappelle skit, like hate, but
yes,
it's just like, but I think it's gonna be a chess game. Mm-hmm. I honestly think there's gonna be multiple 3-and-outs. There will be some turnovers. Jalen Hurts will not have a clean game as we all expected to have, because this Packers defense can bring the pressure when needed. And now with Micah Parsons coming in, you have to guess where the hell is he gonna line up. And you can't just forget about Michael Parsons. You got to focus on Rashawn Gary. You also Kingsley and McBarry. Oh, don't forget the edge man, Edrin Cooper. You cannot forget about that guy. Like everyone in the back, and also Xavier McKinney. I think he loves picking up Jalen Hurts a lot more. Like especially when during his career at the Giants and that one game against the Eagles. So it's like, if Jalen Hurts has to win this game, he has to play a perfect game, which I kind of doubt, which is why you need the run game to work. You have to go short, quick passing game, attack the middle of the field. That is what I expect from Patullo, but will he do that? I don't think so. He's going to get so full ahead of himself and run a damn draw play on a 2nd and long and say, hey, we did this against the Giants. We'll do this shit again. It's not going to work like that. It doesn't work. But somehow defense is going to pull it off. And I think that's what it'll be. 27-21 Eagles.
Okay. I have to stick with my Packers. I think the first half is probably going to be low scoring. Both defenses have adjustments secured on the opposing offenses. Like both defenses are going to figure out, okay, this is how this offense plays. We know how to shut this down, right? Like I think initially, Green Bay is going to play a lot of zone coverage because they know if they provide man coverage to AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, they're just going to exploit the Packers secondary. So I think a lot of zone coverage, probably like mostly just 4-man rush consistently. So I think it's probably going to be close and low scoring at the end of the first half. And we probably see an offensive explosion in the fourth quarter, probably up to like 27-26. I'm going to keep it within like 1 or 2 points. I think this is going to be one of the closest games of the year so far. But I have the Packers winning. I have to be a homer. I know in the playoffs it's most likely going to be Eagles winning because they're just a more experienced team. But for now, I'm just going to say the Packers win 27-26. All righty. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for that very in-depth analysis. We really do appreciate that. We're going to wrap this up with our Masala games of the week. Feel free to pitch in any other interesting games that you guys are looking forward to this week. Rakshak, do you want to go ahead?
So my game of the week, let me just quickly pull up ESPN for that, and I'll just do it based off the vibes and whatnot. I know I'm procrastinating. Sorry, Mom.
No. You're
but
good.
you know what? I'm gonna. Here's a good game. I am going to go with. I know I just saw it earlier. You're gonna hate this. New England versus Tampa Bay.
I knew it.
Is going to looking at Drake May versus Baker Mayfield. Who does not love a good storyline like this?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that this Patriots defense has been clicking, and I mean, will it be able to stop Emeka Egbuka? Will they be able to stop someone like Bucky Irving? And by the way, Luke Gadecki, he's activated for this game. So
Bucky Irving is out, right?
No, I think Bucky Irving might be out, but I think no, Luke Gadecki, the right tackle.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be available for this game. Yeah, Bucky Irving is out. Chris Godwin's out, so it's going to be another. And so it might be one of those other games for Emeka Egbuka and Rashad White to take over, and also. And we have some also and looking for this game. Keyshawn Boutte is out. Ramondre Stevenson's out. Christian Ellis is out. Antonio Gibson, who's out for the year with torn ACL.
Travion Henderson.
It's time to shine. And I think that it's going to be how this Patriots run game goes up against Vita Vea. And I mean, I love Drake May. He's been playing out of his mind this game, but I trust Baker Mayfield. This pains me to say this.
We love Baker. I love Baker. Love Baker. I call him the Muffin Man. That's my guy. That's my guy.
I call him a fucking traitor, but he's a great kid.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And so, one more thing about the Patriots that I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is they are the fourth best run defense in the entire league at 3.6 yards per attempt, and they've allowed the fewest yards per game at 75 yards. So the Bucs cannot run the football at this point. But yeah, go ahead. Roger?
Oh yeah, I also, but I think like. It's going to, and the thing is, like, if Christian Gonzalez is healthy, I want to see that matchup. Christian Gonzalez versus Emeka Egbuka. That is going to be my matchup of the week. Can Gonzalez, if Gonzo can stay healthy, can he? How does he match up? And I think not only with like Jalen McMillan, I'm just pulling up the Bucs depth chart really quickly. Bucky Irving, Godwin. So so it's gonna be you're gonna be relying on Emeka Egbuka, Ryan Miller, Tez Johnson, and Sterling Shepard. I think this could also be a Cade Otton game as well. That is, and having and with Lugadecki coming back, but Luke Haggard being questionable, that's one thing. And of course, for Bucs defense, I trust them a lot more because. I mean, yes, especially with Hassan Reddick being out, guys like Yaya Diaby and Yaya Diaby and Anthony Nelson, Jamel Dean, they've all stepped up as well. But now on the Patriots side, it's with Ramondre, you're going to be asking for Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, Matt Collins, and Hunter Henry to step up. I don't know if that offense with some less. I think injury wise, you could say it's level, but I don't know. I have a gut feeling that some shenanigans will be pulled, but I have the Bucks winning this game. It's going to be a Baker will finish it. Will finish this game. There'll be
As usual, he has like
MVP.
4 game-winning drives this season. Baker Mayfield. That's unbelievable.
If he wins,
like that game 2 years ago. Yeah, Kirk Cousins like 2 years ago. He had like 7 games.
Yeah, he had like I would say with the Vikings. It took me a second.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, yes. 100%.
But yeah. Alrighty. Is that a duck check?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Alrighty. I got the 49ers and Rams, an excellent divisional matchup. Lead for the division. I think right now the Rams are still in the lead. They're like a half game ahead of the Niners because the Niners have one more loss. Now, this is going to cement who's going to be the number one team out of this division. And I honestly think it is the Rams because Stafford is playing at an MVP level. Puka Nacua is coming back from an injury and has not like missed a beat. He's only in limited participation in terms of the current practice list. And the Niners have like half their team on IR. Nick Bosa, Taron Johnson, Yetur Gross-Matos, Trey Tomlinson, Fred Warner, Jacob Coing, Trent Taylor, all of them are on IR. They have Ricky Pearsall, who is still out. Brock Purdy still questionable, which leads Mac Jones to be the starting quarterback this game. But last time the Niners and the Rams played, Mac Jones destroyed that Rams defense. So is it going to be the same way all over again? I don't know. I don't think that you can create that same magic all over again with Jones throwing like 350 passing yards or something like that against this Rams defense. The Rams are not that undisciplined of a team. They're a very disciplined team. They're a strong veteran based team that does not make repeated mistakes. And so in this scenario, I honestly think that the Rams are, I'm when I listed that top 4 teams in the NFC, I should have actually put the Rams above the Packers because they have been playing
the Rams.
Yeah. I forgot. I honestly forgot the Rams. They should be higher ranked than the Packers. So that means you potentially have honestly, the best way to explain this is the NFC West is the NFC North of last year, where you have 3 potential wild card playoff teams that are like 13 games or more. And then the Cardinals are just the Cardinals, right? So in this scenario, I think the Rams are just so far and ahead in injuries, in terms of offensive performance. When you look at adjusted net yards per attempt, which is a great metric for understanding overall performance, Rams are top 10 in that metric. Also in EPA per play, Matt Stafford, as I've mentioned, is actually, let me check where he is in that metric. He should be in
he has to be close
10.
to the top of the league. Because he's been excellent this year. Low key, you can argue he has an MVP case. Him, Baker,
100%.
Arnold, you know what I mean? They've been playing some excellent football with the Rams.
Yeah. So he has, in terms of EPA per play, let's check. I think he's 7th or 9th. So he's 9th. He's just below Dak Prescott. and Daniel Jones in terms of EPA per play. When you look at, completion percentage, he's not that high. It's just more of a um, finicky metric. But in terms of success rate, so how successful he is on a down-to-down basis, he's sixth in the league. And in terms of air yards, does he throw deep? Does he throw short? He's second in the league, just behind Sam Darnold at 9.4 air yards per attempt. That means like per throw, they're trying to get a first down, right? That is the definition of an explosive offense. So just understanding how successful Matt Stafford has been playing so far in the entire season from an overall holistic point of view, it's going to be hard to stop this Rams offense, especially with a injured defense that the Niners have. So I think that the Rams win like 27-20, but it is also a divisional game. So I would not be surprised if the Niners keep it close, and CMC has a 100-yard game, because it is a possibility where Kyle Shanahan figures out a way to create some sort of success with Mac Jones, because he's done it before. The likelihood of it happening again is small, but it is not insignificant because it is a divisional game. So if anybody has any answer on how to defeat an offense, it's going to be Robert Saleh, who has played against or not played, but who's coached defenses against Matt Stafford and the Rams before.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I have that.
Like if CMC has a big day, like let's say over 100 yards, it's going to be tough for the Rams to beat them because they're going to just run the ball, right? But
exactly, control time of possession.
Right.
That has to be the key.
Happen, then the Rams, I think, kind of win this. I think Rams at this point is a better team than the Niners. So that's where they stand. So the time they played them last time, the Niners were a little better team. So yeah.
Right. They were a lot healthier.
Yeah, right.
So, all right. Any other games you guys are interested in before we sign off?
I mean, you guys, you took the two games that I was looking at this week. But I guess for the sake of the storyline, which team sucks more, the Cleveland Browns or the New York Jets? Who is going to vie for the one seed? Who is going to vie for the number one pick?
Welcome to Tank Bowl.
Yeah, man, this is the Tank Bowl officially. Like, which team stinks more? You're going to see a team who either really wants to win, show some pride, or the Jets are going to say, you know what? Screw it. Let's just keep doing what we've been doing and suck even more. Every year they somehow get worse and worse and worse. I've never seen a team add players and get worse. They just do. That's what that's the New York Jets in a nutshell. So yeah, that'll be the game that I look at to see which team sucks worse outside of the Tampa Bay game, outside of the Niner game that you're talking about, because those are probably the two biggest games for us in the NFC. That's probably going to be the game that I look at and just be like, this is going to be a fun watch to see which team is more awful. So.
What do y'all think about the Baltimore and Minnesota game?
I was gonna say that was gonna be the other
game. Was it the last time they played? Was that winter game, right? Where it went back and forth in like the last minute, like kickoff return. It was like Cordero Patterson kickoff returns, Joe Flacco big shot. Like it was. Those were fun games with those two teams. But yeah, fun games. One. Hey, Baltimore low key could win out. They can still win that division.
They have the schedule for it. The Steelers have one of the worst schedules coming up. I think they have like 7 playoff teams or something like that in their future schedule.
Steelers always get a really tough schedule, don't they? Like they get a brutal schedule.
So. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it has to be that.
So they have
good call. Honestly, good call.
Great call.
Good call.
That just looks like an interesting game to me. Like it could go either way. Like McCarthy could still have a good game. You know, they have the offense for it. Like, and Ravens, you know, they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, right? Like
they are.
Sometimes they play really good. Sometimes they just shit the bed. So I don't know which Ravens is going to show up. So yeah, definitely going to be an interesting game. I just expect Minnesota to put up a high score.
Yeah. I tend to agree. That Ravens defense is tough. Do you think this is a make or break year for John Harbaugh? Like at some point, there's got to be a conversation about the guy.
I would think so. This has to be I think what we're expecting is like for John Harbaugh, you have to make a decent playoff run. You need at least one playoff win. If you can guarantee us that, then you could probably stay for.
Well, I mean, he did go to an AFC title game just a couple years ago, right? Like,
true,
he was there.
Only if Zay Flowers could catch the ball and not fumble, then I think that would be.
Yeah, but that's not even the entire thing, though. It's like he doesn't prepare the team to win in clutch situations. That's the problem.
It's consistent too. Like that's consistently what it is every year. And like you're the guy with the Super Bowl ring in the locker room. Like you're the guy. Like at some point you have to. People talk about it with Mike Tomlin. At some point you got to win a damn playoff game.
Oh, you have
to. At some point, John Harbaugh, you got to get over the hump here, right? Like
and I think also when he won those games, right? Like the Super Bowl, they had leaders in that locker room. They had Ray Lewis, they had Ed Reed, Earl Suggs. So same thing for Mike Tomlin. They had Palomalu and
James Ferrier. Aaron Smith was over there. Brett Kiesel, James Harrison. Like
there was a lot of guys. Now, like a lot of those guys have left. Now you have to become that coach and say, hey, this is how we used to win. And who are those new guys in the locker room that want to win, right? It just can't only be Lamar. And Lamar, you have to use him in a certain way in the playoffs, and then you have to play good defense, and which they don't do that in the playoffs. So
that's the thing. Like even in the playoffs last year, when they were really good at running the football, they did not stick to it, and they decided to, let's pass against one of the best pass defenses in the playoffs, specifically against Steve Spagnuolo. Like
especially kind of Derrick Henry,
coming off of 2,000-yard season, roughly.
I mean, it's just at some point enough's got to be enough when it comes to that coaching staff, man. They got to get it done somehow. Again, maybe this isn't the year that they do it, but like, if not now, when? Like, this is as good of a team as you're going to have. Like these past 2 or 3 years, they've had some of the best rosters in the league.
Oh, 100%,
they just come up short every single time. We had that conversation with Sean McDermott. Like at some point, you got to get over the hump here. Like the Chiefs have been weaning down. They've been like on the ropes.
Yeah.
And yet somehow, somewhere, they always come up and show up to play.
Yeah.
You guys have the quarterbacks to do it. Got to get it done. Like you have to get it done.
You have to.
Yeah, if they don't get it done, I think if the Bills don't get it done, they're going
to boot him, I think. I think they should. I think they should anyway.
I would not be surprised
that happening.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, interesting game. That's going to be for this. It's going to be an interesting team. That's an interesting team to look out for in the playoffs. So,
hey, what do y'all think about all the trades that happened? The deadline, Cowboys, they got 2 extra defensive players. What else happened? Like, the Colts got Sauce Gardner.
Oh yeah.
You think
overpay? I think that was an overpay on that one.
They're going for it this year, man. I don't blame them. Sometimes if you feel again, the AFC, we just talked about it. Everyone in the AFC is kind of like, like not everyone's really standing out, right? It's wide open conference, and you know what? You're the number 1 seed right now.
Yeah.
Your quarterback's playing damn near MVP football.
Right.
You got a running game that was on pace to be as good as it was for us last year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go for it. And 2 first-round picks, basically, you're gonna end up later in the draft, 25 to 32. Like, I'll take those 2 shots if it means it's a shot at the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So
fair enough. Yeah.
And Lou Almirola is a good coach on defense, and Shane Steichen, we know how good he is.
Yeah.
So, I think again a little bit of an overpay. You're probably right, but hey, when you go for it, man.
It's the same thing with the Parsons trade, right? Yes, we paid a significant premium. We gave up 2 first-round picks. We gave up Kenny Clark, who was a good defensive player, was a Pro Bowl defensive player for several years before this past year. But that's because the aim is to get to the Super Bowl. If you get a ring, those first-round picks,
it doesn't.
Yeah, it's all worth it. And honestly, that Micah Parsons trade, that might have been a steal based on what this Gardner trade was. 2 first-round picks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, in that sense, like, it's just like, hey, you know what, man? that's the going rate. Go for it, man. And
Hey,
Yeah.
Dallas got Quentin Williams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think
I don't
and-
even know what
Dallas-
they're gonna do with them.
and Logan Wilson, right? Like,
Logan
Yeah.
Wilson, yeah.
that's a pretty good linebacker. Like,
yeah,
so I think their run defense will improve a little bit. I don't know how much they improve, but it all depends on who's coaching them. But
right.
I would have loved Quentin Williams with the Eagles, man. Like if we would have got Quentin Williams,
Oh, they would have been over. It would have been over. I mean, dude, we
You
already
guys are
think
winning
most
again.
of us think
Yeah.
a lot of the fan base thinks it's over with Jalen Phillips in the lineup right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They think they solved their edge problem, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had
I
Jalen
don't-
Carter and Quentin Williams, I would just quit watching. I would be like,
Yeah.
you know what, this is done. They're gonna disrupt any offensive line, even the close offensive line. It's not gonna hold up to that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, man, it's
Yeah, I think that this is the first and only time I'm gonna say the Jets actually did a good thing.
how about that? Wow,
Whoa!
wow, how about
It's
that?
the first and only time because they have 4 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
This is your time to rebuild your roster. So far, they have made some good selections in the past 2-3 years in the first round. They got their top 2 tackles. They have a left guard in Elijah Vera Tucker. They have a good pass rusher in Will McDonald. They did a really good job of drafting Sauce Gardner, but that is, it is what it is now.
I was gonna say the picks that they got, they were gonna try to get the players in the draft that they just traded away.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But they also have Garrett Wilson, so they have a good pedigree of drafting, but I don't know if that continues now.
Well, if they
That
get a
is the
quarterback,
question.
if they land a quarterback somehow, then it makes it
So-
worth it. No,
It does, but this
Who's
quarterback
who's the
class is
quarterback
not
you're
it.
gonna get?
it's not it though. I was like, it's not it, right? So,
Yeah.
the
only thing, this is what Landry was talking about when we broke the news early on in the day. He was basically saying, instead of going for like that young quarterback, I think what they should do is do something what the Bucks did and the Seahawks did. Build a sick ass roster,
Right.
develop that offensive line, get all the weapons you possibly can, get a top like 10 defense, have Aaron Donald coach that defense up to a top 10, top 5 level, right? And then figure out a good, but not great, but good and manageable quarterback. Now, obviously, Zach Wilson isn't it. I don't know who else we would have. Maybe it is.
Are we talking about the Jets?
yeah, he's
Yeah,
saying
the
like
Jets,
feels
yeah.
the same way where you stack the roster up and then you plug in a vet quarterback in to see if you can make a run or at least be a functional team.
I think they should keep the same coach. I don't think you should get rid of him despite a bad year.
You can't,
It is
but
the
he
Jets.
stinks. That's the problem. He stinks.
It is the Jets, right? And Aaron Glenn is a good developer of defensive backs. So they got rid of Sauce Gardner, but they could draft somebody and like build that up. What they need is a good offensive coordinator, and then you got to build that offensive line, and you can still run this with Justin Fields. And I think Justin Fields got similar skill set to Jalen Hurts. And I think if you have a good OC, right, that the Jets could be back in the playoffs. Like, I mean, they haven't been in the playoffs, I don't know,
12 years or something like that. Yeah, something like that. 12 years.
But either that or you go back to the quarterback well, and then it's the same thing all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, who's the
I don't
quarterback
think-
that's going to come and save the Jets? Like even Aaron Rodgers couldn't save it. Like,
Well, they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him. They flew him out to New York, and then they said, "Yeah, by the way, you're gonna play football this year. Yeah, all right, take a hike. Not with the Jets. The audacity of them, and now they're 1-7. And Pittsburgh, they love Justin Fields so much they let him walk. That's the other thing, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring Aaron Rodgers in here." And again,
but I still think Justin Fields is, he might have to go to another team, like, get back or whatever. Like the same thing happened with Baker Mayfield. Same thing
I
happened.
get it.
with
Yeah, I hear you. And
Harbaugh,
again,
these
and
guys.
he was with the
didn't get it
Bears.
first
He
time,
was
you
with
know?
the Steelers, and then he was with the Jets. That's like the 3 worst places to be if you're a quarterback. To his fairness, right? So, no, that's a fair point.
And then of course they got to draft well. Now the Joe Douglas is out of the building. I don't know. They continue to do that too, So that's
right.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
The Jets are the Jets, man. You know, so
That they are. Every time I look outside my window, I see Jet fans because I'm in New York and I'm like Long Island, so I'm all around Jet fans. And I just like, you know what, man, it is not that bad being just a fan of another team right now. You know what I'm saying? Like when teams are when like you're going through like a tough stretch, it could just be so much worse. And I'm just like, you know what? It ain't that
Have you guys
bad.
seen that video of that the young
the
Jets
Jets
QB?
kid? Oh God, it's great.
Yeah, it's like I was born
great.
into this. I hate
I
this
didn't-
team, man.
I didn't choose this.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's so right though.
bad for
It's so right. It's so right. Oh, they're so bad. They're so bad.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's going to be it for us today. If you guys have enjoyed, please leave us a review at one of the 4 podcast platforms that we host our podcast on: Apple, Google, Spotify, and Pocket Cast. I don't know where Duckshuck is. Duckshuck?
Hey, I'm still here.
Okay.
No, that's fine. And you can also find us on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for more notifications. You can also find us on our social media platforms. That is Twitter/X, Instagram, and Threads, which is all on at NFL Masala 2022. That is at NFL Masala 2022. And guys, awesome. Where can we find your channel?
Just type in the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast and a cartoon picture of me will pop up. That is me. Hit subscribe. We appreciate the support.
And Pete, where can we find your channel? And
you can find me on YouTube at Pete Nathan podcast. I haven't been doing a lot lately, but yeah, you can find me there.
We always appreciate y'all's appearances on the podcast. Love the analysis. Love the banter. We'll see you guys next time, definitely, possibly in the playoffs.
Yep.
We'll probably get Landry and a couple of other Packers guys and make an entire episode out of it.
And you know what? Next time when we meet up, when the Eagles meet the Packers again for the playoffs, you know I'm a sucker for this one. But let's do a jersey bet. I am ready for a jersey bet.
I don't know if I have the money since joining the NBA program. Let's see. I haven't had a job in like 6 months, so
it's all good. It's all good, brother. But yeah, we'll figure something out. We have to do a loser bet for sure.
No,
but,
we should. We'll definitely do that. But yeah, so we're gonna sign off. Go Pack, go.
We all we got.
We all we need.
Fly, Eagles,
fly.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.